better than us? Nobody!
We want to focus on the things that have made us good all year long, an intensity that they can't match. And the other thing is the ultimate disrespect is when somebody takes what's yours. And this is our game, so that makes it so personal. Dominate on 3. 1, 2, 3, dominate.
I need 60 minutes. 60 minutes to me. 60 minutes. No business, no mercy. Nothing but stop on the blood bubble. You got me. We're going to ring the bell. We're going to ring that championship bell. Ding, motherfucking dog.
Here comes the pressure. Penix fires over the middle, and it is intercepted. Mikey Sandristil going the other way.
The legend of Mike Sandristil continues to grow.
JJ takes the snap, flips the ball to Roman Wilson after he takes a knee, and Michigan, the Wolverines, have won a national championship.
First and goal. Mahomes flings it. It's there! Hardman! Jackpot, Kansas City!
This was the Andy Reid special we talked about. He was saving all day. He's going to fake a motion to go across. And at that moment, he turns and goes back Hardman, who they didn't have, right?
On this touchdown throw to Mecole Hardman, who started the season as a Jet.
And now, welcome everyone to the Huddle Up Podcast.
Last week we said in the locker room, nobody but the guys in that locker room knew how good this group can be. Now the whole damn country knows.
Hello, everyone. Welcome Huddle Up Podcast. It is Tuesday, October the 15th, 2024, and we are glad to be back with you. If you are joining us live, we certainly do appreciate that. Give us a like, give us a share, interact with us in the live comments, and we will interact with you throughout the show. If you're joining us after the fact, we appreciate you checking in with us wherever you are as well. Make sure if you are grabbing us on any of our social channels at Huddle Up Podcast, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Instagram is at Huddle Up Podcast Inc. And our Twitch channel is at Huddle Up Inc. Make sure you follow, subscribe, tell your friends, rate and review wherever you are on all podcast platforms as well. We would certainly appreciate that and appreciate the support there. Speaking of support as well, you can get our merchandise like the student of the game Kyle Nash is wearing.
Merchandising.
You can grab that over on our TeePublic store. I'm sure there are some sort of deals running today. If not, check back tomorrow, as TeePublic regularly does run sales. But you can support the show there with a variety of products. So we thank everyone for, again, all of their support as always. And we will go around the room. Lighter crew to start the show this week. No Matt, no Sean. Matt on the road traveling for work. Sean still recovering, as many people are. Our thoughts continue to be with all of those impacted by the hurricane last week. So Sean, him and his family are safe. I can let you know that for sure, which is great news. But the cleanup work continues for him and his family. So he will not be with us tonight. Ernest will be joining shortly. I hear he had a flat tire on the security van, and he is working diligently to try to fix that. But starting off the three-man crew, we will start to my side here with Mikey B. Mikey B, how we doing this week?
You say a lot lighter. I say a lot more intelligent.
I was going to say lighter, but with a higher IQ.
Tomato, whatever it takes, right? That's what
I do have a question when it comes to Ernest in the security van. Do you think he might be getting some assistance from a certain Blanky to help with that tire?
Possibly. I hear they're high on a mountaintop though. Is that where?
Don't forget to get a towel.
Jeremy checking in with us here.
Bing, bing, bong.
Bong.
And below me and Mikey, in only the most platonic of ways, student of the game, Kyle Nash. How we doing this week?
You should be so look, it's Lady Caliente jumping in. We don't have Ernest's big head for you here, honey. Sorry.
Oh my God. That is still one of the premier moments on this show.
I entirely lost my mind. But yeah, listen, I'm going to say this. I know this show was called Huddle Up, but here comes Mikey B with all this baseball crap. I mean, listen, I feel like I'm in the South Park movie with the shirt he's wearing. They're not even a real country anyway. But hey, considering the fact that hockey is here in the Sunshine State and has dominated Canada, I can see how Mikey B is throwing shouts to Canada so they can have something to cling to. I'm just going to throw that out. By the way, are we going to see the Fight for Fighting podcast here, Mikey B? Because this would be a great opportunity to plug it.
Yeah, the hope is to bring that back this year. I know I took last year off. It was a sabbatical year. The Washington Capitals at points didn't want to play the game of hockey, so it kind of made it a little bit more difficult. So Fight for Fighting coming back on the Huddle Up feed.
Yeah, the Caps struggled.
This guy sucks.
That's for sure. Last year.
That's how it felt last year.
But before we get to all of the things that we do this week,
You've got mail.
I pulled up to the studio tonight and there was a box here, so I just need to open it up here. And there's
This
a
feels
note.
like me when I got my bell.
There's a note inside. It says, "Hey Jim, I know this year's been rough for you as a Cowboys fan. Just remember, there is always something better out there for you. Here's a little gift to make your Sundays great. Signed, Coach Harbaugh. P.S. Who's got it better than us? Nobody." So,
oh Jesus, here we go.
Look at that.
Hey,
Yeah, so I think it's only appropriate that that we go.
So what you're saying is you entered the transfer portal, and he gave you enough money to transfer.
Yeah, I mean everybody else is doing it these days. Let's get that. There we go. So we are good. We move forward. Thank you, Coach.
Is this where you just randomly start yelling "bolts up" at some point in the show?
Probably.
Okay.
God,
I mean,
I'm just asking.
Who got it better than us? Nobody.
all right. So
that is not a dumb change.
that is not
that
is not at all. All right, let's go to the opening segment though. As we do each and every week, we look back at the weekend that was, and maybe we can even look at a couple of things here since it is a lighter crew to start. But we look back at what we learned from the past weekend. And Mikey B, we'll start with you. What did you learn this past weekend?
Well, thing number one I learned, and to quote the great student of the game, Kyle Nash, when I say this, quack, quack, motherfucker. I said it on this show that they would beat him in Oxton, and people were like, but Mike, you're crazy. You're right, I am. Go Ducks. Honestly, Ryan Day should win an award for potentially the worst coached final drive of the season. Will Howard and his decision making will now be questioned in Ohio State lore for the rest of the rest of his time.
Listen, I know it's fun to slam on Ryan Gay as often as we do Dabu Sweetie on this podcast, but I can't put that Will Howard
rightly so.
And I don't put noise. And I don't put, but I can't put that. I can't put Will Howard forgetting where on the field he is and all that other, just the massive failures that rival Dak Prescott in the first round playoff game. Like I can't put that on the coach, Mike.
What I can put on the coach is that he didn't have his team prepared to get to the line of scrimmage after the penalty where they lost significant time before they snapped the football.
So you're talking about the 12 men on the field that Oregon intentionally did in
100%.
Okay, so yeah, so this was Oregon being fraudulent, just like their quarterback has for basically the entirety of his college career. Got it.
Just like the SEC is fraudulent with fake timeouts because guys crimp because they don't.
That's not just the SEC.
Be fair, that's more of just a Ole Miss problem, as it is.
I was going to say, I watched the Ole Miss game. There was at least 6 times where the guy was like getting ready to get into a stance and goes, ow, my quad. It just
Let me
falls
be
over.
clear. I have seen that happen more than once in the bounce house while Josh Heupel was the coach and they were running a faster tempo. No, that is not SEC unique, sir. So keep your
Okay.
That's
your,
fair.
your,
That's
your
fair.
conferenceism to yourself.
But to Dan Lanning,
being a fraud in the way that you have been your entire college career, that is unique to Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah, no, I kind of was on a similar wavelength with you, Mike. I mean that Oregon's put themselves in the driver's seat. Now again, you have to finish the drive, but
Sure.
they have put themselves in the driver's seat as far as the Big Ten goes. Now, granted, in 2.5 months, or I guess about a month and a half, we'll be talking about probably these same two teams playing in Indy would be my guess. But yeah, I mean, just it was a big win. That's a game that, you know, we've historically come to know Oregon to lose.
Oregon's gonna Oregon is a catchphrase that was used on this show for many years because they lose this game.
And there's still time.
Oh no, they'll lose I mean, I picked them to go undefeated, so I will not say they're going to lose a game, but there is opportunity for them to slip up after this game. I mean, honestly, your perfect example is exactly what happened to Alabama 2 weeks ago against Vanderbilt. Beat Georgia, high on cloud 9, rolling, and Vandy clips them. You know,
Rank them, you cowards.
I mean, they really should put them in the playoffs.
Then you'd have to knock out either Army or Navy, and I just don't know how un-American.
Sir, the one you replace is the one whose toughest win is West Virginia, and wins feature juggernauts such as FIU and Western Illinois. You take Indiana the fuck out of that top 25.
I was gonna say this sounds like either like Indiana or Illinois or somebody like that could be in the top.
I think
25.
Illinois would be the better answer.
Well, hey, at least at some point Illinois exposed Nebraska and did something for the country. The fuck has Indiana done in football lately?
We'll find out Saturday.
Showed up.
That could be the sir. You can phone it in and beat Western Illinois, homie. That's all I'm saying.
For sure. You know, and my closing argument with the Ducks, we talk about stadiums that are incredibly difficult to play in across college football. And one that doesn't get mentioned a lot in the mainstream media is Autzen Stadium.
Eugene?
Yeah, Eugene. That place was loud from pre-kickoff through the final whistle. I think it's time to start giving those college kids a little credit. They show up, they're loud, they give Oregon a home field advantage that you want in those games. No, it is not the Horseshoe. No, it is not the Big House. But it's a pretty damn respectable place to play collegiate football.
Yeah.
I tell you what, the people of Columbus, Ohio are certainly talking about the environment that the Buckeyes went to on Saturday now. So that's for sure. Oh, look who came to join us.
The security van came crashing through the wall, Jim.
Tires are good.
They are now.
Can't say much for Jim's studio wall.
The tires are good.
Yeah, thanks.
Got the
Ernest EJ Christian, fashionably late. How are we doing this week?
Nothing fashionable about this chump.
Especially when he's wearing a Mets shirt.
See what I did there? I mean,
I'm good. I had to be a daddy. That's all. So
at least Byrne is trying to give Canada something to cheer for because they lost hockey. What's your excuse?
Gross. All right. Kyle, student of the game, Kyle Nash, what did you learn this weekend?
I learned this weekend immediately after the Duval Dive live with my good friend Travis Holmes doing our instant reaction to the Jacksonville Jaguars UK game with the Bears that Trent Baalke may likely hire his 6th coach, but his entire career is based on Jim Harbaugh. Now, I know what you're thinking, Jim, with your entrance into the transfer portal, with your dashingly, actually quite attractive powder.
Better than us. Nobody.
Not in Jacksonville, but I like what you're trying to do there. By the way, the dark blue is much better, but details. The punchline is this, my good friend.
Oh, see, I'm a fan of the lighter blue myself.
You would be. Shouts to Matt Muehlheisen.
That's slacker.
Here's the thing. And I don't know if you happened upon the AFC South pod where the General Mike Patton had me and Travis on and just called us as a collective, welcome the Duval Dive. You know,
that's today, right?
What's that?
That was today. It dropped today, right?
It did drop today. That's right.
Okay. My boy Mike.
Shouts to the General as well. But let's do this backwards, because saying he's about to hire his 6th coach means he's hired 5 before. Ernest Christian, you will be silent. You have participated in this exercise on the Earnestly Speaking podcast during the Student of the Game report. Most recently, of course, was Doug E.P., who currently has a losing record. Previous to that was Urban Meyer, arguably the worst coaching hire in NFL history. If you're looking at Bulky's resume so far,
sucks.
Yeah, not great, Bob. Yeah, it's not that I disrespect your soundboard. I'm just showing the world I don't need it, Jim. But then after that, does anybody remember the experiment that failed that eventually got Bulky out of the building? Anybody? You'll know him. Our Eagles contingent would know. Actually, Eagles Jaworski would know too, but only because he's participated in the exercise. It's Chip Kelly, right?
Oh, yeah. Speaking of
sucks. Oh, yeah, that did happen.
Speaking of Oregon.
Right.
Right.
Current defensive coordinator of the Ohio State, who lost to the Ducks on Saturday, Chip Kelly.
Which leads to a whole other thing. How do you make Chip Kelly a defensive coordinator? But please, one problem at a time, guys.
Quack quack.
Then before that,
what happened?
Mike
I'm
Thomas.
lost.
Okay, so we have losing records there. Dougie P isn't finished, so I'm not going to give his record at this time, but I could tell you he has more losses than wins at this point, because he did have a winning record till this season started with 2, 9, and 8, because there's 17 games, because Matt. Urban Meyer, since he didn't finish, 2-11. Chip Kelly, an abysmal, because they only played 16 games then, 2-14. Mike Tomsula, 5-11. The coach that put Trent Baalke on the map was Jim Harbaugh, 44-19 during the campaign with which he was with Trent Baalke, which Trent Baalke eventually went all Jerry Krause. For those of you who know your history, that's the GM that eventually broke up the Bulls because he was not getting enough props for what he did. And let's be honest, they were getting old anyway, right? The guy he booted out the building, much to the joy of Big Jim, Ann Arbor fan, is still the laurels upon which Trent Baalke has a career.
Large.
What are we doing here, guys? What I learned, Jim, is that Trent Baalke is still living on the back of the guy who was coaching for him, 6 years ago? And
even longer, right?
It may have been longer. He started with the Niners in 11, I think, and wrapped at 17. So maybe it's 7, to your point. 8 seasons, 7 years, right?
Did he hire Harbaugh?
Yes, he did.
So it's 11, yes.
It was on your show. You're already forgetting? What are we doing here?
No, we never discussed whether he hired Harbaugh or not, though.
He hired Harbaugh, yeah.
I know. We know he fired him.
Yes. Well, let's put it this way. It's possible that they changed GMs while Harbaugh was there. Mm-hmm. I just assumed that wasn't the case because that happened so rarely in the
Yeah, it was 11 through 14.
So okay, right. Okay, so it's 10 years ago. Damn. Yeah. All right.
I'm gonna say because he was at Michigan. He was at Michigan for a long time.
Yeah, he was. And then Ohio State grew to regret it. The punchline being,
sure did.
What I learned is that not only is Trent Baalke on the back of Jim Harbaugh for his career, Jacksonville needs to fire him now, because you're going to let him get another high draft pick to ruin and waste while also hiring another coach that can't do the job. Not great.
Yeah, that's
not great, Bob.
You don't say.
Front office problems seem to be going around the league. Pretty heavy.
if you want mediocrity in 500 and like 4 playoff appearances in 22 years, I heard Marvin Lewis is looking for a job.
So the problem with that horrible take, if Marvin Lewis wasn't there, they never would have kept making the playoffs. But
correct, 100%. I'm being a smartass.
Oh, okay. Which leads me to my next point. Bleep Paul Brown. Anyway.
Ernest DJ Christian, what did you learn this past weekend?
I ain't learned shit. No, I'm joking.
That Florida State still sucks.
I rant last week, you goddamn copy artist.
Well, that's true. That was last week. No, I learned that stress-free weekend was good. No Florida State football. No. What I learned this weekend is that parodying college football is fucking fun, man. I love the fact that we have a 12-team playoff now, because now everyone feels like they have a chance now. Like, all these games matter now, even more so. You feel like, some games, like, for example, if you lose like 1 or 2 games, for example, like in the old format, your season's pretty much done. You have no shot against the fucking crack.
Hold on. EJ, I'm sorry. Weren't you the one that vehemently argued how much less regular season games matter, and that's why the playoff is bad? That was you.
No, not me. No.
Don't make me find the archives.
Go find the tapes then. You have access to it.
God, I hope it was you, because then I could just look up and say he knew Florida State was going to suck and it wouldn't matter either way.
I mean, that's a whole other conversation. But no, this is great. Everything matters now, man. Like, everybody feels like have a chance to be involved in now. It's great. I love it.
Rank Vanderbilt, you cowards.
Right?
I mean, here's the thing. In the old system, everything mattered until, like you said, kind of until you lost, because the minute you lost, and unless you were, at a select portion of the rankings or the country, one loss pretty much sealed your fate.
Yeah.
Now, you have the ability to lose a game, possibly even 2, depending how your schedule, where you started, who you lost to, when you lost, how the other things shake out. Because, I mean, a couple weeks ago when we were supposed to have a quiet college football weekend, we saw how well that went.
Mm-hmm.
That shook up everything. We saw a little bit of shake up, this past weekend. We're going to continue to see that, because, again, you have, 5 SEC teams in the top 12 spots, or, multiple Big Ten teams in the top 10, and this and that. So we're going to see these teams kind of play around each other a little bit too.
Yeah.
So that the shakeups will continue. But again, if you lost, if you're a number 1 team that lost to a number 5 team in late September, but can beat the number 6 team in the first weekend of November, you're still right there in the hunt. And that's
right.
what's
exactly.
what's cool about this.
Like, look at Ole Miss, 5-2. That right now ranked number 18. They're not out of it yet. They're not out of it. Number 1 in the SEC. So if they can pull up some wins the next couple of weeks, they're still in the hunt to crack the 12.
Life support.
Jim, can I say it one
more time? I mean, well, right. A third loss definitely would harm them more than any good. But at the same time, you're not out of it yet.
Can I say it one more time, Jim?
Go ahead.
You're not Jim. Shut up.
Fuck you.
I mean, the floor is yours.
Rank Vanderbilt, you cowards.
Yeah, I mean, Ole Miss definitely has a much tighter window, but especially if you can beat Georgia on November 9th, you're going to be back in it. I don't think they will personally, but
right.
I mean, the possibility is still there.
Can I pull a line from Ernest Christian for a second?
Rank Vanderbilt, you cowards?
No, that was you. I already agreed with that one.
Stop.
I agreed with that one. Georgia versus Ole Miss, must-win game for both teams.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Because in a hypothetical world, Texas beats Georgia. They have 2 losses. You have 2 2-loss teams. I don't think we're getting a 3-loss SEC team into the top 12, because I think there's going to be I think there's going to be enough 2-loss SEC teams that a 3-loss SEC team is not going to get
right,
over
to your point.
Yeah,
SEC correct.
Is what I'm saying.
Absolutely must win. Mike, that's a great
Well,
point.
but hold on though. I guess to me, it depends. Yeah, I guess it would depend how much.
Hold on.
No, because Georgia would still need to win.
Hold on. We got Cameo coming here.
Hi, EJ. I won't make fun of you today.
Why the hell not? God damn it.
I love you.
The Venmo cashed. I get it. Got it.
Exactly.
If Georgia loses this weekend, it would be that would most likely be it would be a must win for.
No, he's right. Here's the thing, though. Like, I will say that a 3-loss SEC team may get more consideration than, say, a 2-loss ACC team. Or
I'm not denying that, but I think there's a world that you live in that a 3-loss Georgia team could not play in the SEC title game and have 4 or 5 SEC teams finish with 2 losses ahead of them.
Without question. Yeah,
is what I'm saying.
I would be humorous. You got a point, Burn.
Right, because here's the problem when if you would become a at that point 3-loss Georgia team. So if Georgia loses this weekend, they're currently 5. You lose to Texas. I mean, we'll obviously get to the pick on that later, but let's even say it's by a touchdown. You're probably getting knocked down to 8, 9, or 10.
Yeah.
If you lose then to Ole Miss, if you win the rest of your games, but you lose to Ole Miss, you're probably not going to be in the top 12, top 15. And then keep in mind that it's not that you have to be within the top 12. You have to be able to be the highest ranked amongst the at-larges at that point, because at that point, Georgia's not going to be a SEC champion, because you're going to have the 4, Power 4 conference champions, the highest ranked group of 5, and then 7 at large. So I don't think it's not about consideration. It's not, you're not going to necessarily have that kind of window of like last year. It's like, well, they only lost to Alabama in the SEC title game, so they might have an argument for the 4th spot. Like, I don't think you're not going to have that as a 3. I don't think you're going to have that as a 3-loss team, because I don't think the math now. There will be some kind of anomalous years where, a 3-loss, let's just call them SEC team, fill in the SEC team here, could lose to like the number 1, number 3, and number 5 team in the country. And if you can lose those games close, you may end up, depending what else happens around you, in the highest of the at-larges. But you're going to need a lot of help at that point. And I don't think.
Right. I guess the question now, I think I posted last week, I'll say it again. Over under 4.5 SEC teams get into the tournament. Damn well at least 4 is getting in, without question.
4
SEC teams?
I don't know, because
right now the top 4 in the SEC: Texas A&M, Texas, LSU, Georgia.
It's not as clear cut as it once was, because rank Vanderbilt, you cowards, A and B. I'm saying. The Big 12 is actually putting on a lot more of a show than we thought, and the ACC is the inverse. They're much more awful than even I, the ACC hater on this panel, could have ever imagined.
So we'll EJ hold that thought, because we'll get to what the 12 would be.
Oh,
this week,
nice.
Here in a minute. Yeah, we're going to do that from now until we get to the actual playoff. So
yeah, it's called a segment.
We'll get there in a little bit when we look at that. So yeah, let's hold on to that thought. I'll go to mine here. And what I learned this past weekend is that even in a loss, Washington Commanders showed that they are at worst, playoff level team.
Somebody's flying into the NFC East power vacuum, EJ Chris.
He is. He sure is.
Well, no, because this was the first true test of this team.
Correct.
And granted, they lost. Okay, cool. But you lost to one of the best teams, not only in the AFC, in the National Football League. You lost in Baltimore. Now, granted, I understand your Baltimore and DC are very close to one another, but you are in a road environment, a loud road environment, and you only lost by a touchdown. So, that's a game that in previous years, Washington goes in and gets beat pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, see, with EJ, he doesn't really respect the loud road environment because of the way he smashes through the wall with his security van. Like road environments don't faze him.
No, he just doesn't know what a road environment is because he roots for 37 teams.
This is true. See,
Now
I mean,
that
again,
is true.
Work smarter, work smarter, not harder. Come on.
I mean, I hate that I got upstaged, but I didn't think mine was that bad.
Get over it, Mike. Mike did it. Get over it, Kyle.
Like, I
It's
mean,
okay.
Damn.
But I agree with you. I agree with you, Jim. I was saying on the podcast too, on the show we did with Kyle today on this Earnest Speaking report today.
Slow down.
Thank you.
Easy
Right.
for you to say, Laura.
I was like, blah, blah, blah.
He called him Laura.
It wasn't enough. Like, to me, look, I don't remember how we all picked the game last week, but I think most of us picked Baltimore to win. I think other than Mike.
Commanders in the over, Commanders in the over, Commanders in the over, Commanders
Really?
in the overs, Commanders in the overs. Sean is the only one that took the Ravens and the over.
Hold on. What was the
but
spread? Yeah.
it was 6.5. People did take Baltimore to win the game, including Kyle. I even said that I thought Baltimore would win the game, but I thought 7 was too many points.
Also win the game as well.
I think we were all just saying that we thought 6.5 was too many points.
So my point was like, can they pass a smell test? Like, I felt they're going to lose the game anyway, but can they stay in range? Can they be competitive? And they passed the test. To your point, Jim, they did.
Yeah, and so, look, moving forward, and nobody has, well, two teams have separated themselves from the bottom two teams in the NFC East. I'll let you guess who the teams that have at least separated from the bottom of the pack are. But honestly, Washington really kind of does have this. To me, they're sitting in the driver's seat. They're obviously a half game ahead of Philly because Philly already had the bye, but like Washington's playing the best football in that division, and they have over the next couple of weeks, the schedule to kind of continue to win some games. They have the Panthers this weekend, the Bears next, then the Giants, Steelers, Eagles, Cowboys, Titans, Saints, Eagles.
Wow.
All winnable games, folks.
Bye week in between Titans Saints, by the way, just for those
okay. Yeah, I knew there was a bye in there somewhere.
That don't know that.
Now, granted, the Eagles games, if the Eagles start to find a new head coach, whatever, they will. They're going to provide a test. The Saints apparently have just mailed it in after week 2. And so like the Washington's really not going to be tested that much until the Falcons at the end of December.
Week 17, Perk Thuggins, baby.
It's like
going back to DC.
The Kirk Coupin's revenge game, right?
Let's go, baby.
But honestly, like the road is there for Washington not only to win this. If they win both of those games against the Eagles, I don't, barring injury, I don't see any reason why this team's not going to cruise to an East.
So what I hear from you, Jim, is right now as we head to week 7 of the National Football League 2024 season, that you have the Commanders right now winning the NFC East. Are you going to go 10 green toes down on that?
No, I'm not going to go 10 green toes, but first off,
10 red tails.
I say Washington doesn't wear green for starters.
I'm just saying green because it's for
Yeah, that's a fail. Just admit it. 10 red tails. The joke was right there, and you opted to blow it.
Way to go, EJ.
You had it all and you blew it.
I hate you.
Yeah, I will say the Commanders will win the NFC East.
Because I'm slowly moving in the direction, but I can't go there just yet.
Well, I know it's because you have to slowly maneuver yourself off.
For one reason. I said 2 weeks ago, drew my soliloquy on the Jalen Hurts press conference thing, that these next 4 weeks of the Eagles are going to say a lot about where this team goes. Because it's obvious now at this point, it's a 2-team race. Dallas is gone. They gone.
Dallas is dead in the water.
Dallas is gone. So we're not counting them anymore.
Jim, on your own behalf, can you please give me a Lucifer Morningstar?
I tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen.
About what? Dallas?
About the Cowboys being much worse.
Oh, yeah, of course. There was, it's bad. And that schedule don't get any better.
Yeah, I mean the Eagles do have somewhat of an easy road as well,
Yeah,
like Washington does. Giants, Bengals, Jags, Cowboys, Commanders, Rams, Ravens on December 1st. That's obviously going to be a tough one. And then they finish Panthers, Steelers, Commanders, Cowboys, Giants. So both teams have easy-ish roads ahead of them. Obviously Washington's going to have a bye week that the Eagles have already had. It's going to come down to those two games. Again, barring injury or something like that, but like right now, Washington's playing better football.
And right. The reason why I can't let go of the Eagles, because the Eagles, to me, of the two teams, still have the most talent of the two teams. But the issues I've been saying for weeks now is it's internal. You might don't agree. But I think they're more talented than Washington right now, currently. But
where are they more talented?
I think he's referring to the receiver core.
Receiver core, definitely receiver core.
I mean,
skill position. Yeah.
Are we ready to put? I know it's a small sample.
Hold on. I said before at the NFL kickoff that I thought the Philadelphia offensive line was in trouble without Jason Kelsey.
You did say
that. I don't know. Through 6 weeks, I feel like I'm actually spot on that.
No, I think we all agreed with you.
We all agree with that. Yeah.
And here's the deal. Jalen Hurts has not played to Jalen Hurts' capability because Jalen Hurts, for the first time in his career, does not have the best center in the National Football League snapping him the football and making adjustments at the line of scrimmage. Now,
and Lanning Johnson, as another guy, is aging too. Let's be fair, right?
Correct. So their offensive line is taking a hit. At the end of the day, that's very transparent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Saquon Barkley better than Austin Eckler and Brian Robinson? Yes.
Obviously,
I think Terry McLaurin is just as comparable to Devontae Smith and AJ Brown. You can make that face all you want. AJ Brown will probably miss another 4 games before the end of the season.
No, if you're throwing injuries, if you're throwing injuries in the
we have to. Why are we living in a vacuum that injuries don't occur? Injuries happen every game. Aiden Hutchinson just went down. It looks like that's a perfect place for someone to trade for a defensive end. More on that in a minute.
Hold on. I would take Brown over Terry, but Terry over Devonta.
It's a conversation worth having, is what I'll say.
Yeah,
I'm saying they're not leaps and bounds better than the Washington Commanders.
Oh no, I'm not going
1 through 53 right now.
Right, I'm going that far.
So I will say is I will give Washington the edge in the thing that I think matters the most. The head coach.
Oh,
the head coach.
Okay,
I give Dan Quinn a better grade than I do Nick Sirianni, because Nick Sirianni has lost that locker room.
By the way, EJ Christian, you know where you've heard this argument before? On the Student of the Game Report on the Earnestly Speaking podcast.
It literally, I think it would have been last Sunday after the Commanders win over, I forget what team they played last week.
Can we talk about the Red Tails next? Oh, sorry, I got confused. My bad, Jim.
After they boat raced the Browns. There was a shot of like Dan Quinn doing the post-game locker room speech and everything, and I just went, that could have been us. Like I'm just sitting here going like, fuck you, Jerry.
No, you know what, dude?
His basically also quick sidebar has been the entire theme of the last 2.5 days for me.
You can say that, Jim.
But
at the end of the day,
son, we get it, Jim.
Jim, you can say that all you want, though. At the end of the day, as long as Jerry Jones run that fucking team, Dan Quinn can never have the
right, and that
carte blanche doing what he's there.
And
so
EJ, that's if you would have listened to me before you started rambling your point, you would have understood that what I meant was "fuck you, Jerry" has been the whole phrase of, well, not only the last 30 years, but really the last couple of days, last couple of weeks, because it is getting progressively worse. He's threatening to fire the sports radio host that he doesn't even.
What a piece of shit he is, for the record, doing that shit.
I need to let you know. I just got off the phone with Ray Charles. Even he could see that was the case.
Oh my God! But anyway,
that's why I picked up the phone. I was getting a call, Mike.
Not about the Cowboys, but yeah. The head coach right now. Yeah, you don't see Dan Quinn arguing with his own fans.
So the Dan Quinn led
Red Tails
Commanders boat raced the same team that the Philadelphia Eagles escaped from this past week.
And then you got Sirianni. How do you like me now? To the crowd.
I mean, again,
He has a face that makes me want to punch him, and it's ever been since that shot that he took him in the sideline where he's like in the playoff game. It's just he has that face.
How'd that go, Burn?
Just the worst.
So just yeet, just right in the schnoz.
This guy sucks.
But yeah, I'm barring injury, this Commanders team has arrived well before their arrival time.
Let me say this much though. What I would have said 3 weeks ago, the Eagles being locked to win the East no matter what. I'm off that shit. So.
Oh yeah, you should have been off that shit after about week 2. But
don't do mad.
I know. Who do you trust, right?
Championship pedigree.
Who do you trust?
All right.
In his defense, he was thrown off by Devontae Smith and AJ Brown both being out. I think that's fair.
No, right, true, very true, very true. But again, the stuff that we're seeing, the press conferences, the comments, the fucking reaction. You said today on the podcast, Kyle, also too, dysfunction. And now it's out there now. Now it's really out there.
I mean, that's the mistake you made in bringing up the podcast when you presented it, which made you look silly and gave us that epic reaction from the great AJ Hawk of this show, Matt Muehlheisen. It's not just that one.
It was so worth it.
It
was so worth it.
It really was. But we're talking about stuff going back a year and a half plus, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you know, off air, I told you about what my first impression was when meeting Sirianni at the Super Bowl. He just struck me as a young guy, and I think this maturing process has been sobering for him.
But Jim, to your point, Washington definitely. I mean, I learned a lot more in them losing this weekend.
Yeah, 100%. All right, let's continue on here, and as I said a couple of minutes ago, we are going to continue to do this as we progress through the college football season, and we're going to look at the weekly college football playoff projection. So again, this is from Nick Bromberg of Yahoo Sports. This is built using the AP Top 25 as the framework. So if this weekend's AP Top 25 would be the college football playoff, you know, if this past weekend was the end of the season, this is what the college football playoff would look like today. Now, obviously, we have plenty to shake out. Teams that are in this graphic, if you are not watching on our YouTube page or our Facebook or Twitch, please go subscribe, check out the video. We will also break this down in a segment form on the feed as well during the week, so you can check that out. But this is the framework of what we're using. So again,
brace your barf bags, by the way, folks.
This will change, but your first round buys would be number 1 Texas, who would be the SEC champion. Number 2 Oregon, who would be your Big Ten champion. Number 3 Miami, who would be your ACC champion. And then number 4 Iowa State would be your Big 12 champion. So remember, this is different than what the rankings look like, because Texas 1, Oregon 2, Miami 6, Iowa State 9. So already right there, you have the differentiation between ranking and playoff position. But then you move to the opening round games. You would have number 12 Boise State, who would be your Mountain West champion. They would go to number 5 Penn State, who would be an at-large. Number 11 Tennessee, who is an at-large, would travel to number 6 Ohio State. Again, these are all at-larges at this point. Tennessee at Ohio State. Number 10 LSU would travel to number 7 Georgia, and number 9 Clemson would travel to number 8 Alabama. So that is the structure we're looking at. Alabama. As we go. So to EJ, to your point, now again, these teams are going to shake themselves out a bit.
Oh yeah,
because a lot of these teams still need to play each other. So, but right now, as it were, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 SEC teams in this playoff field. I don't think it will be that many. I think teams like Tennessee will probably find themselves out.
Penn State, who is
yes,
still
but we're
despite
speaking.
going overtime with an unranked team. I'm not going to make a triple overtime in Pitt joke. Don't say it, Jim. But them not getting
You had to
penalized,
throw that in there anyway.
they're going to lose another game eventually, for example.
Right, but speaking specifically to the SEC, because that was EJ's point. I think that LSU and possibly even Alabama could find themselves.
Well, and the reason why I make the point about Penn State is the comment I made that more than one Big 12 team might still sneak in.
Sure, and yeah, I think I mean, Penn State and Ohio State play next weekend, so I could very easily now at this point Penn State would only shake down probably a little bit.
Yeah, Jim, with a quality loss, they would still be highly ranked. That's correct.
Yeah, but then there will be other teams behind them who will likely continue to rise as well. So again, this is gonna change as we go through. So instead of doing it the way we did it last week, because I'm kind of with the new playoff format where I'm kind of learning in real time how to kind of attack these weekly segments. But let's play out this. Let's play out this field. And we'll do this each week and see who we think that based on the field, as it were, would be your national champion. So let's start with the number 12 at number 5. So Boise State goes to Penn State. We'll go Mike, EJ, Kyle, and myself. We'll see how this all shakes out. What you guys think? So Mikey B, Boise State at Penn State. Who wins?
Ashton Genty runs for 285 and 4 scores. Give me the Broncos in an upset.
All right, EJ.
That's what I want to happen, but I think Penn State will win that game, actually.
All right, Kyle.
Well, you're wrong again, EJ Christian. With his Heisman Trophy firmly placed in his pocket after the Travis Hunter injury, he will, in fact,
wrongness and be wrong and get used to it.
And he will, in fact, prove once again that James Franklin has no business doing what he's doing, and that Penn State should be relegated to the ACC.
This guy sucks.
Yeah, give me Boise. I mean, you're not going to get scared. You're not going to get scared in a cold environment when you're used to playing in Boise. Okay,
in the mountains.
So this is literally just another game for Boise State, and it's another big game for James Franklin to fail at. So then let's go to number 11 Tennessee at number 6 Ohio State.
Mike,
Ohio State.
EJ?
Yeah, Ohio State, unfortunately.
Kyle?
I don't believe in Josh Heupel in this particular space, although he's disproved me a lot this year, especially after this debacle with battling Florida. Yeah, I too have Ohio State.
Yeah, we know how I feel about the painted hair bitch, but he gets a win at home.
Take it easy.
So mean,
Take it easy, Homer.
The Buckeyes advance.
Who's got it better than you? Okay, listen.
Nobody.
All right, next one, number 10 LSU.
Family.
At number 7 Georgia. Mikey B.
Go Dogs.
Jim, can you just say your pick since we already know what it is?
EJ.
Yeah, go Bulldogs.
Kyle.
Make it unanimous.
Yeah, it's absolutely Georgia. And then we move to Clemson at Alabama. Everybody in unison. 1, 2, 3.
Clemson.
Alabama.
Get out of here, Mike.
Alabama.
Actually, should we have said F Dabo? My bad.
Well,
yes. That probably would have been the better answer.
Are you really picking Clemson, Mike?
No.
No, I knew that this was going, so I just had to say something stupid.
Very good. Very good.
Where's Vanderbilt?
Alabama.
Cowards.
All right. So, EJ, you were the only one that picked Penn State. So we'll start with you.
Way to fuck up the rotation.
Penn State versus Iowa State in the Fiesta Bowl, EJ.
Yuck. God damn it. Iowa State. Fuck it.
All right, Mike. Boise State against Iowa State.
You think I'm not picking against? You think I'm picking against my Heisman Trophy winner, Ashton Genty? Maybe he runs for 4 more. Get him in the semis.
Mike. Are we going feelings, or we think that's going to win 2 games in this scenario?
Okay, I don't think James Franklin can win a big game at all. So
right.
Trash. And if you think that Iowa State is a good football team, I have oceanfront property in Lincoln, Nebraska. I'd like to sell you.
Fair enough.
Now, come on, man. They had that huge 1-point win over Iowa.
And I also watched Ashton
You
Genty
bringing that
run.
up, Jim?
I also watched Ashton Genty run very well against the number 2 team in the tournament. I haven't seen Iowa State have a good game against anybody in the top 5.
There you go. Student of the game, Kyle Nash, Boise State, Iowa State.
As you've wrongly accused me of being too hard on Notre Dame, the proof of that is how hard I am on Iowa, and the committee's treatment of Iowa is the only reason why Iowa State is ranked this high. That being said, that has nothing to do with their 4th seeding. What does? When they eventually battle BYU, because you spell
BU.
Yep. So when they eventually battle, they're going to lose to them. And I don't know if they play K-State later or not, but I don't know if they play either of these teams on their schedule. But if they get far enough,
they closed the season against Kansas State.
Okay, that's an L. And by the way, I am a Matt Campbell fan. What he has done to build a program in Ames, Iowa. Listen, what Matt Campbell's doing, he aims high. Anyways, so haters. So the
heck of an effort.
The correct answer is to whoever wins this game is BYU. However, for the purposes of our conversation, I think with Iowa State's pass defense, they actually hold things down and are able to stuff the box to keep Genty under 200 yards. So they're able to sneak in later in the game by a field goal to beat out Boise State. And Mike goes, well, at least it wasn't Coastal.
I will also go in a close game. I will go Iowa State. But that game really kind of could be a toss up.
You just called us eliminating the 12th seed chalk. That's adorable.
Again, like I don't think this will be the matchup, but again, for the sake of what we're presented with this week, I think this game would be a lot closer than a lot of people would expect. All right, let's stay in this other side of the graph, or in this side of the graphic, and let's go Alabama against Texas. Alabama against Texas in the Sugar Bowl. Mike, this one should be easy for all of us, I think.
Hook 'em.
All right, EJ.
Texas.
Kyle.
Talk about Alabama losing makes all you guys horny.
I see what you did there. Yeah, Texas.
That was good.
Pretty easy. All right, so then let's get to the national championship on this side of the bracket. So we have Texas. Mike, you would be Texas against Boise State.
Hook 'em.
Okay. Now we're good. We're good.
Yeah,
here.
the Cinderella run proves that
chalk.
The group of 5. Well, hold on. The group of 5 who automatically gets the 12 seed somehow gets to the Final Four. There's going to be a conversation of, do we really need to keep giving the Big 12 and the ACC first round buys? But I digress. I think it's a good matchup. I think it'd be a fun game. But inevitably, I don't think it's like Georgia Hawaii bad. But I do think Texas ends up winning by like 10 or something.
You don't think it's Alabama Notre Dame bad?
No,
man. There's no need for that. There's no need for that. There really is no need for that.
No, you're playing the wrong one, Jim. Give me what I earned.
There it is. For the first time in what feels like 5.5 weeks, we got to fuck you, Kyle, on the show.
It's only 2. Take it easy.
No need for that. EJ, Texas, and you had Iowa State in here, right?
Oh my God! I mean, come on, Tech. What are we doing here?
And nobody's not picking Texas here. Can we skip this part?
Yeah,
correct.
Seriously.
Yeah, all right.
Like,
Cool.
what are we doing here?
So then let's go to the Rose Bowl, Oregon versus Georgia. Mike.
Skoducks.
Homer.
EJ.
Eagles coming. Bulldogs.
All right, Kyle.
I mean, you could have at least done it like Pat McAfee and done something like "Go Dogs," quack quack, motherfucker. But no, you had opportunity.
I honestly just want to know why Ernest thinks that Georgia rolls against Oregon.
Maybe it's a field goal. I don't know. I'm not saying who wins the game.
It's because Oregon in these games this late traditionally folds against beef, and the SEC has it, and Oregon doesn't. I don't care if they're in the Big Ten now.
Or Ernest knows that the criminals are going to the SEC, and he's already bleeding his alliance to the Southeastern Conference.
Damn,
more on that later.
First of all, no, it's not. But second, that was funny.
Well played. Well played. Well played. Kyle, Georgia and Oregon.
Oh, dogs.
I'm going Oregon as well.
Homer.
Homering me for? I picked the Buckeyes to win the Big Ten.
You've been sucking it. You and Mike both been sucking it dick of Oregon all year long. What are you talking about? Stop.
Buddy, no, hold on. You have no room to talk Patrick Lavon Mahomes a second.
Yeah,
shut up.
Seriously.
He got rings.
Shut up.
He got rings. I'm
Championship
good.
pedigree, my ass.
Motherfucker got 3 rings. I'm good.
I picked Ohio State to win the Big Ten.
Sure.
Just because I correctly picked Oregon to beat the Suckeyes this past
Hey,
weekend.
look, brother, I am happy as fuck that Oregon won.
Great. So, but I don't understand why you're calling me a homer here.
I can explain that.
No, because you've been on the Oregon train. This is the college version of the Detroit Lions for you now.
No, actually,
no, not at all. Again, I picked.
He's this year.
I picked Ohio State
to
win the Big Ten.
You picked Ohio State.
Well, yeah, I figured if I talked like your favorite candidate, you may understand me a little bit better.
Got him. No, Jim, the correct answer is you're being loyal to your future conference when Notre Dame's absorbed by the Big Ten.
Ah, there it is.
Got him.
Joe Buck,
No, I just look at the
6
fact
degrees, motherfucker.
that when I look at Georgia's schedule, their best win is against Clemson.
Oh, this year so far
isn't good, right? So right now, I think Oregon is the better team. Like Georgia almost lost to Kentucky. They got beat by Alabama. You know, they struggled against Mississippi State this past weekend. Like right now, this team has. I am more confident that they're going to have an arrest this weekend than they're going to have a great football game.
Wow.
Like this Georgia team is not the same thing we've come to know Georgia as the past couple of years.
You know the problem with haters.
Thank you.
Yeah, facts don't care about your feelings, EJ.
Yeah, well, then why are you?
I think I'm with Jim on that one.
Of course you will, Homer.
I mean,
I'm sorry. What has Georgia done to prove that this team is superior to Oregon?
You're looking at the resume of the schedule that we can't control. And I get, listen, it's a good question. I get they struggle with Kentucky and all that. They barely beat Alabama, who eventually lost to the Commodores.
They lost to Alabama.
I said Alabama. Well, I didn't. I said the
no, you said they barely beat.
Excuse me. Lost to. Fine. The punchline is, Bern, as you asked the question, historically, if we're going to do this, Oregon loses to teams that have better fronts, and Georgia is that.
We sat here for the
resume. I'm giving you tactics. It's better than the
and we sat here for the first 3 weeks of the season and said that this Oregon team was overrated. They barely squeaked by Idaho. They barely beat Boise State. They struggled in the first half against Oregon State. And then for some reason, they figured it out. You want to know what it was? The transfer quarterback finally got enough reps to figure out how to run the offense in Oregon.
Or is Ohio State overrated? Do we have that answer?
Ooh, it's possible.
Sure.
I'm not trying to be a dick, Bern. I'm just telling you where I'm coming from.
But I also remember the first half of the Georgia game where they got absolutely fucking boat raced by Alabama.
And they still came back. What about it?
I mean, when you
play
prevent defense and you can
chunk
it off for 20 yards.
What's clear
to it? There he goes.
What's clear is there's really only one great team this year, and that's the Horns. That's it.
Okay,
that is correct.
This conversation, but cool. And yeah, I like vanilla and chocolate ice cream too, and I happen to breathe oxygen there. A good argument, EJ.
Yeah, you're welcome, motherfucker.
All right, Peach Bowl. I think we all had the Buckeyes going against number 3 Miami. Mikey B.
The U is back, baby. Hey, I'm just gonna say it. You guys said Ohio State may not be as good as they are. I'm gonna agree with them. I think Cam Ward's better than anybody that Ohio State's gonna throw out there. So give me the U, baby.
All right, EJ.
This is actually hard. Damn.
I want you to take Ohio State so you can just sit here and make my argument for me.
No, because I hate both teams.
Come on, make my argument for me.
Because the thing is, though, you have a point there. I think this is a scenario where Miami could win this game. Actually,
You mean I have a point? Is that it?
whoever said Miami, I got Miami. I'll take Miami.
Wow.
I want to say that, but throw up my
Kyle.
fucking mouth.
Quarterback play makes the difference. I too have the U.
I do not think that Miami is the 6th best team in the country.
Holy-
I don't know what Ohio State is, but I know I have watched Miami struggle to put away Virginia Tech and Cal. I hate it, but give me the Buckeyes.
This has a Ryan Day fuck up all over it.
That's what we're trying to tell Jim, and he won't.
I mean, you're also talking about a Miami team that didn't know how to take a knee last year, if we're going to talk historically.
But that's the past.
Oh, okay.
No. You're not allowed to use that.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
All right. So then let's go to the semifinal matchup on this side. Mikey B has Oregon versus the U.
God, what a garbage football game.
Go Ducks. Quack, quack, motherfucker. You think I'm picking?
Homer.
All right. EJ, you have
Georgia
versus Miami.
Oh, easily Georgia.
All right. Kyle, you have Georgia versus Miami.
The work to save America from the biggest fraud in the country and Dylan Gabriel has been done. And I maintain that the trenches matter. Cam Ward's running for his life. Give me the Dogs.
All right. And then I have Oregon versus Ohio State. I picked it last weekend. I will pick it in the college football playoff semifinal. Give me the Ducks to win again.
Homer.
No, you two are homers picking the SEC. Stop.
Yeah, exactly.
You're a Cowboys fan. You're used to cheering for frauds there. Why would you stop here?
Cool.
That's the two SEC homers are going to have an SEC national title game. That's
exactly.
And the
all right.
Tennessee's better,
rightly so, probably.
Wrongly so.
And
wrongly so.
So you can't handle the truth.
Mikey B.
Season report.
Mikey B. We got to Oregon versus Texas in the national title game.
Oh boy.
I think this is the best national title game in quite some time.
Oh, shit.
I think this game goes back and forth. I'll go out on a limb and say I think this game is an overtime game because I don't think that they're leaps and bounds better. I don't think that the SEC is this far superior conference because they have 35 teams in there.
Wow.
Hey, I'm sorry. Facts don't care about your feelings. Cool.
I know.
There's
But they care about yours there, Coastal. Moving on.
No, and what does Coastal have to do with the 12-team playoff that they didn't qualify for?
I don't know.
I'm sorry. I was asking the UCF guy who covers them, and they only have one team from their conference represented. But I digress.
And that can change here very shortly, smartass.
Sure, it absolutely could. And there could also only be 3 SEC teams, and Georgia and Alabama could be sitting at home for the playoffs. But hey,
I would hope so.
Good thing about this week. I'm going to take Texas to win the national title game. I think this game is a 3-point game. I think it's going to be a fun game. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I don't think this is a blowout. Texas gets the victory, though, at the end.
All right. EJ, you have Georgia versus Texas.
Based on what we've seen in the first 6 weeks of the year, it's Texas easy.
All right. Kyle, same thing. Georgia and Texas.
This is your actual 3-point game, as this game saves us from a matchup that is a redoing of Alabama and Notre Dame.
Jesus.
Kyle, you got a lot of hate in your heart for Notre Dame. Just let it out.
God.
Hold on. Do we
No.
do an entire segment of just hate? Let him get it out.
No, hold on.
Yeah, eventually I'll be allowed back on one of these other guys' shows, and I'll get to actually plead my case about not that Notre Dame is that great, but the resumes above them aren't that much fucking better.
Wait,
But
whose
anyway.
show? Wait, whose show you talking about? Kyle's show?
Yeah, your 2 circle jerk show each fucking week.
You come on my show next week, buddy.
I would bring the Cowboys on if they were relevant.
Jim, fuck you. You can come to my show next week. What are you talking about?
Shut up, Gilmore Girls. He's talking to me.
He's talking to me too.
Fucking Christ.
Dickhead.
Goofball. Dickhead. Ooh, that's creative.
I know. Jim, you come to my show next week. We're talking about. Relax.
Yes, I am aware. But that's also not going to be talking much football. But anyway.
Or any football.
I mean, if it's EJ's show, he doesn't really talk football as much as you.
Well, I do with you, Kyle. You fucking
this
meathead.
is me correcting you.
fucking
It's
meathead.
ironic that I'm the student because I teach your ass on the regular on the Earnestly Speaking podcast and carry your show. Yes, even when your internet goes out.
Well, yours went out today too, bitch.
No, the StreamYard app went out.
Even worse.
I know.
So in the unnecessary shots at Notre Dame, did you pick Texas or Georgia?
We all picked Texas to win. I don't know why we're having this conversation.
There we go.
In the heart of Texas. Sorry, go ahead.
And yes, to Oregon versus Texas. This is where I will disagree with Mike. I think that I do think that Texas is far and away the best team in the country. I think this will be somewhere in probably the 10-14 range. It'll be close for the first half, but Texas is gonna just do their thing.
You're so mean. You have hate in your heart, Kyle. You also have Jesus. What are we doing here?
Kyle's great.
Here says Ohio State, Texas in the finals. Texas wins. So the bottom line is, at least as we sit here with the graphic this week and the information provided, Texas is your national champion.
Oh wait, Who's is hurt? Never mind. It doesn't matter.
Mike, by the way, cool Ted Lasso. Is that a sticker there on the wall? Ted Lasso on the wall?
I have Ted Lasso stickers there.
No, I was like, what the hell are you talking about?
Ted Lasso, right there. It's nice.
What the fuck just happened?
Yes, fucking amazing. Love that. Fucking love that show so much, dude.
It is good. All right, let's now go to the picks for this week. As we go into week number 8 of the college football season, and only 3 matchups in the top 25 head-to-heads this week. So we go to one team that I don't think we've ever picked a game with this team, but we go to Indiana. It is the 5-1 Nebraska Cornhuskers traveling to number 16, whether you think they should be there or not. Indiana Hoosiers. They are 6-0, a 6.5 point home favorite. Your over-under on this one is 50.5. This one Saturday noon on Fox. Kyle, we'll start with you.
Jim, I know we've talked about Indiana before. You want to know when it happened? The pandemic. That's right. The world had to be going through a fucking plague the last time we talked about Indiana football. Let's make that very clear. You're taking me to one fraud that's been exposed versus another that hasn't. What my God. Bet the under. Christ. I don't know. Sure. I think, can you put Coastal up here? At least I'd have fun picking that game, and so would Burn. Jesus.
I mean, you literally just have to say one of the team's names.
Thank you. Fucking A, dude.
Really all you have to do.
I'm sorry. I actually care about getting something right, unlike EJ.
Aren't you first place right now in college football?
I don't know.
Well, you're in first place. Degenerate here.
Oh, congratulations, Burn. Okay. I'll say I can't pick either of these fucking.
Just copy my notes, Kyle. Get out of the way. I'll pick it for you. Fuck it. Jesus.
Nebraska, I guess. I don't know.
Thank you. That took way too long. That's what she said.
You should be
EJ.
You know, unlike Kyle, who has a lot of hate in his heart about all these fucking teams, Indiana's a fun story.
That's what it is.
Indiana's a fun story. It's a fun little story. You know what? Let's continue to ride here. Give me Indiana here and give me the over. Because fuck you, Kyle. That's why.
All right, Mikey B.
I have Matt and Sean's picks, but I have to say this before I give theirs. Story time's over, motherfucker. Give me Nebraska in the over.
Why the face?
Burn. That was a fine dunk, sir. Well done.
Matt has Nebraska in the over as well. Evil twin Sean has Indiana in the over.
I will take Indiana's going to win the game. I'll take Nebraska to cover the 6.5, and I will take a
under. Right? Yes. No.
Yeah, I'll go under. I think
I'll ask the panel. Does 50.5 feel high for this football game?
It does feel a smidge high, but I also feel like neither of these teams are going to play defense.
Wait, a smidge or slightly?
I'm going to go smidge because I'm not you.
Okay.
Smidge. Well, there's a
smidgely
because smidge is slightly bigger than slight. So, it's like a teaspoon versus like a quarter teaspoon.
Nebraska has only scored under 21 time this year. They've scored 30 plus 3 out of their 6 games. Let me pull up Indiana here quick. Let's see.
That's the old ABC song.
It is. Well done.
Love it. Mid-90s.
So Indiana has scored 31, 77, 42, 52, 42, 41. Now, granted, some of those were against competition even less.
Western Illinois. Woo!
But I think that's probably where they got that number. There's probably if Nebraska is going to cover that 6.5, I think the under has to be the play though, because they're going to have to stop Indiana from scoring. All right, now we move on. 3:30 Eastern time on ABC. Number 7 Alabama. They are 5-1, a 3-point road favorite at number 11 Tennessee, who is also 5-1. 56 is your over/under on this one. Student of the game.
In a rare move, I'm going to show confidence in Josh Heupel because what Vanderbilt did, what Georgia did, I should say, and Vanderbilt built on was showing that this team is starting to play defense like a Pac-12 team. Yeah, I said Pac-12 because on occasionally the Utes do play defense in the Big 12, as does pew, 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 pew.
Did you say Utes?
Correct. I also said BYU for those that didn't catch that. But the punchline is, give me Josh Heupel at the very least to get it within a field goal, but they might win the game outright. 56 actually feels low. Give me.
All right. EJ.
I know Bama's been struggling last couple of weeks, but they turned things around this week. Give me Alabama and give me the over.
Yeah, because Bama may struggle, EJ.
Alabama!
But they've been scoring points, man.
Yeah. Well, with that defense, it's the only way they can win. Mikey B.
I turned the page on the Crimson Tide season, and I rule it dead upon arrival. Give me Tennessee plus the points. Give me Tennessee to win the football game. I think that this is the spot where the Crimson Tide are now going to have more questions than answers, and I will take the over.
I'm not hating your heart there, Michael.
No.
This take actually keeps Ole Miss in the game, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, it does.
Matt took Tennessee in the over. Evil Twin took Tennessee in the over.
Whoa. Okay.
It's
amazing to be Georgia and then all of a sudden fuck everybody off the wagon now 2 weeks later.
That being said, I will also be understanding that if Alabama wins, I will get the consolation prize of Vanderbilt having a better shot at getting ranked. You cowards!
Rank them.
Neither of these teams are that good. I'll take Tennessee to at least cover.
Wow.
Fuck it. They'll win. I've been waiting for Alabama. I've been waiting for the Alabama downfall. The Tennessee downfall will still happen this year. So give me Tennessee to win this game, and I will take the over.
You sound like me talking about hypo
as well.
Jim, the better Notre Dame.
Are they?
Here we go.
Yeah. Stop.
You're saying that with confidence. Okay.
Full 10 toes down. Let's go.
Cool.
Wait, hold on.
20 toes down. Both teams going to do that.
You're saying who's better than Notre Dame right now?
Alabama and Tennessee.
I would take Notre Dame to beat Tennessee.
I don't know. I guess Louisville fans as well.
Buddy, we get it. Florida State is going to the SEC. Calm
they're not
down.
According to the sorcerer, they're not going there, apparently.
Well, and you know what? They may not be, but you know what? There's another team in the state of Florida that plays there that you'll probably root for. You root for 37 of them as it is. There's 27 in the SEC alone. You're somehow going to tell me that South Carolina is good.
That logic only applies to the pros. That's it.
You're going to tell me the South Carolina is good too. I know. Watch.
No. The two races. Two races.
All right, moving on.
Two races, two red. Sorry. Next.
Well, moving on, ironically, to one of EJ's other college teams. Number 24, Michigan is 4-2.
That's one of my teams, though. Yes.
And a 3-point road favorite at number 22, Illinois, who is 5-1. You're over under on this one, 43.5. This one Saturday, 3:30 Eastern time. The Big Ten on CBS, because that still doesn't sound right, Kyle.
No.
It's weird. Fuck. I'm sorry.
He wasn't talking to you, Lorelai.
I love that show so much, though.
Jim, I'll put it this way. This is the most disrespected you should feel since week 1 when these asshats tried to give me Texas A&M over Notre Dame. Suddenly that's forgotten that I ranted harder than you did, but I have hate in my heart. Here's a satchel of Richard.
Well, the last 7 weeks prove otherwise, but cool.
I'm sorry. I care about facts. Maybe you should start.
Do you look at the resumes of the teams above Notre Dame? Alabama, Oregon, and Texas are the only teams who have best wins than Notre Dame does, but you don't want to hear it. But got you.
Oh, yeah, but they also didn't lose to a G5. That'll be all.
Cool.
Anyways, Maybe Coastal can beat Notre Dame this year. Mike would like that.
I mean, since you like to talk about historic, Alabama lost to the kicking can historically of the SEC, but what do I know either?
Yeah, out of G5. There you go. That's the difference. See,
I mean, no, they're a G5 school. They should be playing in Conference USA. Let's be real.
I'm not saying that the loss to Northern Illinois is good.
What's that?
Like, I've never defended that, and I'm not also sitting here saying that Notre Dame is a great football team. However, the resumes of the team above them. Every week I hear you talk about in these teams, this team shouldn't be ranked, and this team,
who has
blah, blah, blah.
in their heart?
But
you big mad.
No, but my point is this: you talk about teams. Notre Dame hasn't played anybody. Their resume stinks. Who's Ohio State played before this weekend? Who has fucking Tennessee? Who is Tennessee beat? Who is any of these teams?
Very show right in front of you. I took a shot at Iowa State, but we're going to forget that happened, huh?
Oh, so one team out of 20. Cool.
Excuse me. All show, I've been down on Indiana, and I did it in more than one show. So if you're going to bring that bullshit to the house, Jim, you better be accurate. You want to take a shot?
I said teams above Notre Dame, but okay.
Completely inaccurate, saying I don't take shots at other teams that they don't deserve.
Tennessee lost to Arkansas.
Oh, shut up, Mike. You are patently false in that statement, and I'm not going to sit and take it. That's all there is.
I mean, Tennessee did also lose to Arkansas.
Okay.
Who's trash?
Tennessee hasn't beaten anybody.
Their best
have I
win
been
is
a big
NC
Tennessee
State
defender. Please point out when I've been a big Tennessee.
No, but you're missing the point, sir. You continue to talk about how bad Notre Dame and their resume and all of that is, but Notre Dame has a better win than a lot of the teams above them.
Yes, because you're the one that also said that Tennessee would beat Notre Dame, and I don't think Tennessee stands a chance because they lost to teams like Arkansas.
Yeah, I think better than Notre Dame, but that's just
Of course you do, SEC Homer.
Keep arguing, guys. I like this. Is fun.
Anyway,
whatever. Yeah, I mean, you're in the delusional world where Oregon is a juggernaut too. Give me a fucking break.
Homer.
I mean, we want to talk about resumes. It's nice they put it together for Ohio State, who I've had questions about. But again, nobody wants to talk about other teams above Notre Dame that I've questioned. We're just going to pretend that if they have a gold helmet, I'm critical of them. Just ask UCF fans for shit I write in the black and gold banneret. So, I mean, seriously, guys, if you're going to go after me, give me something better than that, because it ain't there, man. I mean,
it is, but I'm not gonna.
How many examples do I have?
To derail my own show over something that doesn't happen on this show.
Hold on.
Let's leave it. I'm not. Stop. I'm not going to continue to derail my show here. That was on me. That was on me. I'll take the blame on it. I'm not going to continue to derail this show for something that doesn't happen in this house. So, Kyle, we go back to number 24, Michigan, 4-2. They are a 3-point road favorite at number 22, Illinois. Your over-under is 43.5.
So as I was saying, despite the fact I'm getting shit canned here as this is going on, I think Michigan is being severely disrespected in this game. Only a field goal, please. Illinois, what was it we said earlier? Story time ends here. Yeah, get them out of the top 25 for America's sake, please, Michigan. Thank you. 43.5. I get why they're going low. That feels low. Give me slide over.
All right, very good. EJ.
I love when Daddy to control like that.
Fuck
good
you,
job,
EJ.
Anyway, yeah, I'm with you on that. Get Illinois out of here. Cool story. Michigan needs to win. Get Michigan here to cover and give me the over.
All right, Mikey B.
Matt took Illinois in the over. Evil Twin takes Michigan in the over. This game sucks on ice. Like, I'd rather watch these two teams play hockey.
What makes it bad for you? I'm not saying you're wrong. I just give me context.
I don't think Illinois is good. I think Michigan with life after Harbaugh is gonna struggle for a couple of years. I just don't think either of these offenses are very sexy either. I think this is going to be one of those standard Big Ten football games where the final score feels like it's going to be 17-10. So I'm going to take Michigan in the under.
Okay.
It just doesn't feel very. Yeah.
Okay. No.
Illinois wearing 100th anniversary uniforms this weekend, so at least that's kind of cool. Jack Tuttle, your new starting quarterback with Michigan, the transfer in. He was supposed to be the starter to start the year. was kind of delayed by injury. So
Okay.
with the bye week to prepare, I like Michigan to look much better than they have up to this point. I do like them to cover the 3. You can say it all you want, whether it's
Marge.
Homer, whether it's Marge.
Homer.
That's fine with me. I think the Wolverines get back on track this weekend. I'll take a little bit of an over. I know both of these offenses have struggled to get going, but if Michigan can utilize some of their playmakers, I think we'll find a way to get over 44 points.
Is Michigan disrespected by this line, Jim?
Here's the thing. Based on what we've seen so far, it's tough. Last time out, it was their first real road test, and they did not pass. So I can understand the anxiety to give them more points, and the question mark at the quarterback position. 3 does feel maybe a little bit low. But I mean,
okay, I get it. You know what? You set me right, because I spent the whole show calling these voters cowards. It makes sense that they would be consistent.
Yeah, I mean, and like the crappy thing is, like, Illinois, like I don't think they are that good. They also went into Penn State again. I know how we all feel about Penn State. I'm there too, but they went into Penn State and hung with them for 3 quarters. The problem is Illinois' offense just couldn't get going. So I understand why the line's tight, especially because it's again on the road for Michigan. But hopefully they can prove something this weekend.
They also gave up 49 to don't.
I didn't even have to bring up USC.
All right, let's go to the big one though. This weekend it is number 5 Georgia. They are 5-1. They are at number 1 Texas, who is 6-0, a 3.5 point home favorite. Now that feels disrespectful. Your over under on this one is 56. Saturday night, 7:30 Eastern time on ABC. Student of the game.
So wait, if I'm reading this right, Georgia's a road favorite?
No,
Texas
they're a
is
3.5
point home.
It's minus 3.5. My bad. Okay, yeah. Sorry. Again, still not a degenerate as much as our good friend EJ Christian.
No, Mike's worse than me. We talking about
who's been so bad at it that he had
degenerate.
I went 5 in the last one.
So bad at it that he's had to pull back from doing it. That's why.
I came out last week and went 5-0. Good job.
Oh, sorry.
Even a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
Exactly. So, but acknowledge the wins as much as the losses. That's all I'm saying.
It wasn't going to be a nut, but it was going to be a sugar-free cookie. Is that okay?
I'm more than okay with that. Chocolate chip, though, please.
You're telling a sports show to acknowledge the wins as much as we do the losses. That's not how sports works, Ernest. It's always the losses that we sit here and we talk about more than the wins.
That maybe that's the problem with sports media, but we digress, sir.
Possibly.
Let's just say
possibly.
I mean, yeah, I got Texas. They're at home. I think they win by a touchdown, so I guess they can cover. 56 feels like a good number, actually. Give me a slight over.
All right, EJ.
You know, Jim, you said that this line is disrespectful to Georgia. I completely disagree with you. When you consider where these teams are at right now currently.
Sir, I don't mean to confuse you.
Yes.
It is not disrespectful to Georgia.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
It is disrespectful to the home
I'm going to
team.
say, because this is, honestly, Texas is getting, it's almost feels like a steal. Give me Texas here. Texas right now is the one team to put distance between themselves and everybody else right now, currently.
Correct. Yeah.
So
it's disrespectful towards Texas.
I'm glad
if I wasn't clear on that.
Right.
It's disrespectful to the home team.
I apologize, Jim.
You were clear. He's a tool.
That was mean, Kyle. Even for you fuck.
Hey, listen, I'm
Zach don't care about your feelings.
Apparently not. Anyway, that being said, if you had 23 weeks ago that Georgia would be the dog in this game, I would say, get the fuck out of here. But it makes sense. Give me Texas to win this game by at least by a touchdown, and give me a big over.
All right.
Not slight. Big.
I see big. Huge.
Huge over. No one does overs like me.
Mikey B.
Matt has Texas and the under. Evil Twin has Texas in the over. I'm going to do it here. I'm going to say it right now. Boat race. Kirby will not be smart with his defensive strategy against the Texas Longhorns. His season will be on life support. Texas by 2 touchdowns. Quinn Ewers, Arch Manning, don't care. Hook 'em. And the over.
Oh, hot seat, Kirby Smart? No, I'm joking.
Oh, good God.
Hookers.
Yeah, look. You made it cute against Alabama. You almost lost to Kentucky. Texas is going to take this 3.5 and the disrespect, and it is going to be a Texas death match in down there in Longhorn country. Give me Texas by a hell of a lot, and I will take. I'll say it. Texas might hit 56.
Oh,
damn! Whoa! Wow!
Way over.
Disrespect.
Way over on this one.
Ooh.
Wait, hold on.
It's
What
not
is disrespectful
disrespect.
about that?
It's truth.
Georgia.
It's not this. I won't call it disrespectful. I will say it's bold.
Very
There is
bold.
listen.
Sure.
Okay. Like
a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
in the biggest revenge of cover disrespect since Notre Dame, I see Texas doing what it's doing. Period.
Yeah.
Oh, eat my heart, whatever.
All right. So that's where we wrap up this week with the college football picks, and we'll see how we land. I've been having not the greatest of year, but we have fun doing it. Let's move on to week number 7 of the National Football League, and 2 teams on a bye this week. One, thank God I don't have to watch this nightmare for 1 week, the Dallas Cowboys, and the other team is the Chicago Bears on the bye coming off of the London game. But we start Sunday, 1 o'clock on CBS. It is the 5-1 Houston Texans at the 4-2 Green Bay Packers, a 3-point home favorite. 47.5 is your over under. Mikey B, we'll start with you.
Matt has the Texans and the over. Evil Twin Sean, as I bring up his picks, he has the Texans and the over. I am going to join them. I'm going to take the Texans and the over. I think the Texans win this game. Yeah.
All right, EJ.
Well, all three of you guys will be wrong here. Give me the Packers to win, and give me the under.
Wow.
The under.
Shocker. 10
Let down
toes
City.
deep.
That's right. Great green. 10 green, smelly, cheesy ass Wisconsin cheese
Homer.
toes. That's right. Down and the under on this game.
All right, student of the game.
Jim loves feet too. So
I'm not doing it with feelings. I'm doing it with facts that make this game confusing. I believe you guys are making what is the safe pick with the Texans for clear. But the Texans are among the most penalized teams in the league. I think they have a shot to win this game and then lose it to a bad beat. I'd rather be wrong being bold than being screwed by the Texans getting penalized too much. Give me God, and the fact that they put them like dead even.
Yeah,
yeah. Give me the Pack. It's not that I love it, but it's going to be an over. I feel more confident in that than picking this game. The Texans are going to make this game way closer than it should be. You guys are right to pick the Texans. Like I said, I'd rather lose being bold than get a bad beat. So yeah, give me the Pack.
I think both these teams are kind of in that, and we'll talk about it here in the power rankings a little bit. But they're in this group of teams that are very similar. And if you want to make arguments for them, anywhere in the grouping, I'd be willing to listen to them. I like the Packers since Jordan Love's return, offense starting to click a little bit more. I'll take the Texans at cover 3. I think this is going to be an extremely tight game. I think the Packers win it. I'll take the Texans to cover though, and I will also take the over. I think points with both of these offense are going to be the name of the game here. Then the next one we go to Sunday, 1 o'clock Eastern time on Fox. It is the 4-1 Detroit Lions at the 5-0 and off the bye Minnesota Vikings, a 2-point home favorite for Minnesota. 49.5 is your over under. Wait, this just in. The Lions just scored again against the Cowboys.
God.
Shit. All right, Mikey B, we'll start with you.
Evil Twin has the Lions and the over. Matt has the Lions and the under. I have the Vikings as a very competitive matchup here for the Detroit Lions. I think this game is going to be a very good game. I think it's going to be a very back and forth game. But I'm going to give the advantage to Man Campbell and the offensive line of the Detroit Lions. There are some things that need to be addressed with the Lions, especially on the defensive side of the ball, losing Aiden Hutchinson. That's going to be a question. And that's going to be something that this week is going to be very telling on what they decide to do moving forward. Because there are a couple names that I've heard that they've reached out about. Probably talk about that in the power rankings. I'm going to take the Lions because I think the two-headed monster at running back of Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery will help them keep the defense off the field for extended periods of time, which is going to be a key while you're trying to fill the void that has now been lost by the injury of Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah, it's a brutal injury. Unfortunately for them, a tough week to have to start figuring that out on the defensive side. But EJ,
it's tough because the Vikings come off a bye and Lions are red hot right now. I would say arguably the best team in the NFC right now. I know that injury Hutchinson's going to hurt a lot in long term. Although I believe that culture in Detroit, they can find ways to keep that mix going. And honestly, you know what? I like what Detroit's doing. I love what they're doing now. Give me Detroit to win this game and the Vikings, fighting a winning streak. Give me the Lions win and give me the over.
All right, student of the game.
Literally the most difficult game to pick all fucking year, and it's because of the Aiden Hutchinson. I know we've all mentioned it, but the words that haven't been uttered yet that I think are worth stating: best defensive player on the Lions team, period, team, all period. I know I mixed it up a little bit, but you get the point. I like Mike's take that the run game really drives that. The under here feels appropriate. I think points will be at a premium. I almost feel like getting 2 points, picking the Vikings is the right move, because if they do lose, it might be within one. If anybody's seen Madden Campbell style games, that shit goes down. You know a little bit about that from week 1 of last year, don't you, Burn? So with all that in mind, no, I'm not brave enough to do it, though. I still can't believe in the Vikings enough. Give me Man Campbell, man. Fuck it.
Definitely a big mountain to overcome with the loss of Aiden Hutchinson. Did have successful surgery. Lions, of course, placed him on the IR. Certainly would not expect him back this season for sure. In terms of points, I mean, Minnesota, they've scored over 30 only twice, and not far into the 30s at that. Detroit also has only scored over 26 2 times. Granted, they did it the last 2 weeks, although against Seattle and Dallas, who rumor is they're still looking for their defense. Wait. Oh, another Lions touchdown. Got it. But yeah, so I actually do like the under in this one, despite the weapons on both sides of the ball. This is just I think this is going to be more of an old-fashioned NFC North matchup, and it's going to be a real fun one to watch. Unfortunately, I'm calling a wrestling show on Sunday, so I'm not going to be able to see it. But all that said, right now, coming off the bye, it's weird because like the momentum maybe kind of stopped a little for Minnesota. The momentum certainly rolling for Detroit. Another one, got it. So yeah, give me the Lions. It's going to be a close game. Obviously, if they win, they're going to cover the 2, and I like the under as well. But it's going to be a great game. Certainly one of the more difficult ones to call this year. We moved into Sunday at 4:25 Eastern time on Fox. It is the 5-0 Chiefs, also off the bye. They travel to the 3-3 49ers, a 1-point home favorite. 46.5 is your over-under on this one, Mikey B.
It's going to be a slugfest. It's going to be a lot of in the trenches play. Chris Jones probably playing against the best offensive line that he's played against so far this season. You don't agree with that assessment?
I'm not prepared to analyze that. That's an interesting take. I'm not looking at you because I think you're wrong. I'm like, I never thought of that, was kind of what I said. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Buddy.
So, no, you're fine. I just clarification. You are the offensive lineman guru here. So I figured if there was someone who would say that my take was wrong, it would be you. So that's why I was waiting for a response.
I thought I just had hate in my heart. Cool.
No, you do. You still do.
No, you just have hate for Ernest. That's fine.
No.
Matt takes the Chiefs in the under. Sean takes the Chiefs in the under. You know what? I'm gonna do it. The lucky streak and the finding ways to win games that they've found a way to give away will come back to spur Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes the second in the foot here. I'm going to take the 49ers to win this football game. At this point, it's nothing more than I think inevitably there's going to be a game where they're going to not play clean, whether it's similar to the Chargers situation, similar to the Ravens situation, similar to the Bengals situation. The thing is here is you finally have a defense that can actually make sure that if they can get a double-digit lead, Patrick Mahomes will have a hard enough time to come back in a football game. That being said, I think the Niners pull it out. I think this is a 21-17 kind of game. I think this is going to be just in the trenches. And I at this point, I think even with the shoulder injury to Jordan Mason, depending on what that looks like, he hasn't let go of the football as much as the running backs currently for the Chiefs have. So give me the Niners just because I think it's going to be more of a smash mouth football game.
All right, DJ.
Logically, you should take Andy Reid off a bye every time. Historically, he's probably the greatest coach off a bye ever. However, I'm agreeing with Mike here. Look, his bottom line: the Chiefs are not going unbeaten this year. Let's just cut that shit out right now. They're losing a couple of games this year, and they'll lose this game this week to San Francisco. The Niners need this game big. Give me Niners win this game and give me the under. I can't believe we're talking about the Chiefs as a smash mouth team. That's fucking crazy, isn't it? So weird.
No, it's not crazy because I said it since week 2 of last year. And if
I know that, but it's still getting used to that. Like it's still weird.
You need a year. You need damn near 2 seats. What the fuck do you need?
I don't know. Patty Mahomes, man. I get it.
This is the same guy that's bringing up the fact that they won the Super Bowl 3 years ago in his arguments. Give him time. It'll come around. It'll come around. Just give him time.
First of all,
Who do you trust?
Second,
there it is.
That's just goddamn disrespectful. Holy shit. By the way, upon further review, thank you. That's a perfect one. Upon further review of the Chiefs' schedule, I agree with your statement that the Niners may represent the biggest challenge the Chiefs' defensive line has faced. That is fair. However, where Chris Jones will be placed is towards the weakness of the Lions' offensive line. In other words, the smartest thing you could do if you're the Chiefs, put Chris Jones on the opposite side of Trent Williams, something other teams don't do with their dominant pass rusher, like, I'm sorry, Jim, Micah Parsons. But
he's been hurt for 2 weeks. It's irrelevant.
I mean, last year when it was 49-7, Jim.
Gotcha.
So
Oh no! We suck again.
That being said, Brock Purdy has had games where he's made mistakes. This Niners team was able to get away with a lot more last year because they were that much better. I don't think you're seeing that here because a lot of guys are missing. McCaffrey's still out, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The guy who's come in to fill in for him has done a wonderful job. I'm taking nothing from him. But Brandon Ayuk is still on a milk carton. And let's be honest, Deebo Samuel has not been all that in a bag of chips either. So then what? Juszczyk's supposed to carry this team past Patrick Mahomes II and company? I get it. Patty's going to throw another interception. Fred Warner's a goddamn beast. But Chris Jones decides this game just as he has all the others because he doesn't do battle with Trent Williams. I have the Chiefs. Give me the under, though. That is the clear play in this football game.
Yeah, I mean, it's you can't – with a 1-point spread, can't really pick one team to cover either way. Coming off the bye for the record, Andy Reid 31-7 all time, 9-3 in the postseason. Make it 32-7 overall. I do like the Chiefs here. I think it's going to be a close game. I think we're as weird as it is, man. I think we're talking the under in this game. 46 feels very low for an NFL game, but I think that's just who these teams are right now. So give me the under and the Chiefs.
By the way, Jim, notice you did not hit the homer button for this particular pick. How fascinating.
And I will then we go Monday 8:15 Eastern time on ESPN. It is the 4-2 Ravens. They are a 3.5 point road favorite at 4-2 Tampa. 48 is your over under, Mikey B.
Matt takes the Ravens and the under. The evil twin takes the Ravens and the under. If Tampa plays the way they did in that second half against Baltimore, I think that they can keep this game very interesting. I think this might actually be one of the toughest games for me to pick. And no, this isn't my homerism coming out and knowing that Baltimore has to lose for Cincinnati to have a shot to still win the division. I'm saying this because Baker Mayfield has finally figured out the pieces to use the way he needs to use them in this offense, with Godwin, getting the ball into his hands, making him make plays, things like that. And the fact that he scored like 35 points on the road in the second half was pretty
27 and a quarter or something stupid, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Three-headed monster at running back. I mean, the weapons that seem to be there right now are pretty wild.
And maybe this is more of a slight on the Saints because their defense looked really good in the first quarter and a half. So, the fact that they kind of disappeared in the second half is kind of more alarming. Baltimore's defense doesn't normally fade that heavily. Give me Baltimore, but I don't think this game is more than like a 4, maybe 7 point game. Like they're within a touchdown the whole way. I'll take the over. I just feel like that if Tampa's going to keep it close, they're going to have to keep scoring. So, and I think it's going to be close, so I'll take the over.
Devin, stop being rude. Yeah, we're still live. What are you doing?
Hi, Devin.
Is there still going to hate?
Goodness sakes, Devin.
Don't be rude.
Get the hell out of my house if you don't want to. You're going to
That's mean.
What? You have hate in your heart, Jim.
Come in here talking that shit. Student of the game, EJ, Ravens at Bucks.
Mike, did I hurt saying that Baltimore to pick Baltimore to win? Did it hurt a little bit? Just a little?
No, actually it didn't, because unlike you, I can actually use my head.
What the fuck? It's a question.
Hey, it's hard for him to use his head. It's so big, it's heavy, Mike. Don't be rude.
You're right. I know. My wife tried to tell him that that was actually what went through the wall, not the van.
This is true. The streak continues here. Great game. Probably most underrated game of the weekend. Give me Baltimore to win and cover. I'm taking the over in this one, though.
Student of the game.
I wasn't ready for the smash sound effect, Jim. Fuck. You can't do that.
I wanted to laugh while I was still talking.
You can't do that, but you can't do that. Fucking Christ. Okay, I do have an analysis, I promise. Okay. I like that number. I'm going to pick the over, but expect to get it wrong.
Why?
Reasons, bitch. Here's the thing. I don't think 3.5 points is enough. I think a field goal decides this game. I think Baltimore wins, but I'm going to take Tampa to cover. Yeah.
It's wild that it's that close.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Because to Mike's point, I trust Baker Mayfield. The Ravens O-line has been spotty at times, but I think the key to it will be both Lamar Demetrius Jackson and Derrick Henry controlling the football on the ground, keeping their offense on there longer. Baker Mayfield may make a comeback, but it's not going to be quite enough. A field goal. Is Justin Tucker still kicking for Baltimore?
He is. He has not been quite as automatic this year.
Maybe not, but Justin Tucker is still a bad motherfucker. Give it to the Ravens.
More automatic.
Mamma
More
Jamma.
automatic. Justin Tucker or G-Reg Zerillium.
Well, it depends how windy it is. Yeah, this game's another one. The slate in the NFL this weekend definitely strong. The concern I have for Baltimore is their defense has not been as good as we've kind of known the Ravens defense to be over the last couple of years. So that's why too. I think the Bucs do cover. I think the Ravens win, obviously a close one. I would not be surprised if the Bucs can pull this one off at home. And I will take over. I think we're gonna find points on both sides of the ball.
They were improved this. They were a little bit more improved this week against Washington, a little bit in comparison to the weeks before.
A little bit.
You know,
They're getting there, but I
You
think
give
it's
the
going
Bucs
to be
a little
enough.
bit of credit than that too. Like Vita Vea is still a thing, bro. Just
Yeah,
saying.
I do think it's still going to be enough for the Bucs to find some holes through it and make some plays. So it's going to be a close one. I think next week. Is this another 2 Monday night week?
Yes, it is. There's, Raiders and the Cardinals, I think, or something like that.
Oh, gross! Just watch this game. Don't worry about that other one. Both those teams stink.
So you want to know? I think I figured out why they're doing
Chargers and Cardinals. Chargers and Cardinals.
Oh, then by all means, let's watch those Chargers.
Yeah.
Homer.
Homer. All right. Let's move on. You know what time it is.
Uh-oh.
Let's cue up the song, let's cue up the dance, and let's go.
Just fucking
Because I have
terrible.
hate in my heart.
Both of you.
As we do each and every week, we look at EJ's and ours power rankings in the National Football League, the top 10, the bottom 5.
Kyle.
And let's start. If you are looking at the video, make sure you look to the right side of the screen here.
Were you taking an oath now, Mike?
No, I wanted to share something before we started. But
Yes, Mike.
We have the 18th ever goalie goal in National Hockey League history tonight.
Oh shit!
Oh, nice.
Felipe Gustafsson of the Minnesota Wild.
Open net.
Yep.
Very
Bangarang.
nice.
Yeah, nice.
Very nice.
All right, for the podcast listeners who can't see the visual here, of course, 28 the Dolphins, 29 the Browns, 30 the Jaguars, 31 the Panthers, and 32 the Patriots.
My bottom 5 didn't really change from last week. I slid the Jags in. I moved the Dolphins out. Again, I'm just going to kind of beat the drum here as I have all year. It would be easier to make a top 5 and a bottom 10.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bad football teams. I think the Browns, despite only a 4-point loss to the Eagles, are still the worst team.
That's fascinating.
But the Panthers, the Patriots, throw them at a wall. Whoever ends up above
exactly
the other one, that's where they are. But yeah,
where are the Titans?
They were competitive this week. That's why
they lost to 47-year-old Joe Flacco.
So did the Steelers.
They were up in that game by like 10 and lost to 412-year-old Joe Flacco.
Again, to Jim's point, you could do a bottom 10 and you went wrong.
Burn.
What?
That's the comeback player of the year.
Correct. Took it from a dead guy.
Yeah.
A zombie, if you will.
Correct. I mean, you'll see mine. I have the Titans in mine. I think the Titans need to be here because there's not anything that they are really doing that's good.
Like if Tua was healthy, I would have that in there. But they beat the Dolphins too on top of that. So they had
EJ Devin asked, why the hell are the Dolphins at 28? They had a bye week.
Okay, because I couldn't put the Titans down here for the same reason they beat the Dolphins 3 weeks ago. So there you go.
I mean, you could.
I could, but again,
because They looked like shit.
To Jim's point, though, like you can have another like 3 or 4 teams in this spot, and you wouldn't be wrong. But
I'm going to make this question very simple so we can get out of this part of the
yeah,
segment.
absolutely. It's just so
You've already
depressing.
humiliated yourself, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You had the Jags 32 last week.
No, I did not. Did I? Let me check, make sure.
No, you didn't have the Jags in your bottom 5. Your bottom 5 last week.
No, they were not here last
Browns,
week.
Titans, Dolphins, Panthers, Patriots.
Okay, so at one point you had the Jags at 32. In light of the news of them getting beat in what is allegedly their second home by a rookie quarterback and having a safety after the game say that he sees a lot of quit in his team, with all that ammunition, you still don't put them 32. I find that fascinating.
You want me? Wait,
issue there?
Are you saying it should be 32?
No,
Okay.
Because I can. Well, I'll put it this way: you could put them 32 so long as you don't blame Trevor Lawrence like the rest of the national media is.
Oh, you and G Steele having a text exchange during the game. You and we both agreed this is not Trevor's fault.
I have spoiler alert. I have the Jaguars at 31.
Okay. You expect me to kick and scream about that? Yeah, I'm sorry to disappoint you, my friend.
No. I'm just saying. I definitely think they're a bottom 3 team in the NFL right now, and it has nothing to do with the guy who's getting all the flack for it. It has to do with what teammates are saying is people are quitting on the team.
I mean, friends don't let friends listen to Emmanuel Acha. That's really the point of this.
Point about it.
That's true.
You ain't wrong.
All right, EJ, give us your top 10.
All right, top 10. Here we go. Number 10, the Commanders. Number 9, the Buccaneers. 8, the Falcons. 7, the Niners. 6, the Packers. 5, the Texans. 4, Ravens. 3, Vikings. 2, Lions. 1, Chiefs.
What have the 49ers shown you to pass the Bucks, Falcons, and Red Tails?
Well, they were last week.
They were 8 last week, so they moved up 1.
My question maintains: what have they shown you to then get raised?
You already know the words. How about,
Don't do it because
I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
How can you do it? Because
I don't trust him.
Hurt.
Money. Who do you trust?
I did this earlier, and you're probably going to raise them to 6 this week because they had a quality loss.
No.
But the punchline is, hold on. In a world where I've been told by all 3 panelists that injuries matter, McCaffrey's still missing. Brandon Ayuk is on the back of a milk carton. Debo's, I explained this earlier, I feel like, by the way.
You did.
Yeah.
They have Fred Warner, who might be the most underrated defensive player in the goddamn league.
I agree with you there.
What are we doing here?
Okay.
I got quiet when I asked that question.
No, I mean,
I don't understand.
I just said it. I just said it. So there you go.
I mean, I don't understand how you have the Niners in your top 10.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll see yours in a second.
I mean, I've
and especially moving up from last week. I mean,
where did you have Green Bay last week as well?
I think I'm 8 or 9.
You had them at 9 last week. I have your.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
I would put Green Bay at 10 and move everybody else up.
I mean, I would move I have Green Bay in the 11 spot, just with my rankings in mind. I don't have the 49ers in mind because I still have the Buffalo Bills in my top 10.
Okay.
That's a fascinating take, actually.
We'll see yours in a second. Any issue with the top 4 though? Because I made some shake up there. There's a little bit.
Yeah, I have a question.
Go right ahead, Jim.
So the Vikings last week were 2 on your list.
Correct.
Obviously, they came down 1.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't play. The Lions beat the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Last week, you had the Ravens at 3.
Mm-hmm.
The Ravens who beat the team that was your number 6, and you move them down.
You can blame Detroit for this one.
Well, no, because
in the what?
Detroit was what 4 last week on my list.
They were
okay. Detroit was so impressive this past night, and I have been impressive for weeks now. That I believe right now they are the best team in the conference. I don't give a shit about the records. And
that's fine. But, I don't take issue with the Lions at 2 for the record.
Okay. I mean,
I'm a little confused. Let me ask you this question: if the Vikings and Ravens played this week, who would you pick?
That's tough, actually, to be honest with you, because the Ravens defense has really been the one thing I'm really
3A
shaking
and
on.
3B, Jim.
Yeah, I'm not going to do. I mean, look, I would do that. I mean, in my brain, I would do that. Honestly, the Ravens defense is still concerning overall. Minnesota's definitely probably the most balanced of the two teams right now.
Hey, pull the fence post out of your ass and answer the question.
Gun to my head, probably Baltimore. Gun to my head. But it's not as good.
So gun to your head, you're not taking a hard answer. That's your first mistake.
But again,
no, hold on. If a gun to your head, you don't guess. You pick. You make your point. Right. So you see, you think you would take Baltimore. Therefore, Baltimore should still be at 3. You should drop the Vikings from 2 to 4.
I didn't want to penalize Minnesota either for not playing this week.
But you already did by dropping them.
I would say you already did. Then keep them at 2 if you don't want to punt it.
I believe Detroit.
I understand what you did, but my point is the Ravens did play this week. They played a team who was in your top 6, and they beat them.
They were top 6 last week?
Yeah, you had the Commanders at 6.
Oh, yeah, I did. Right, thank you.
Like, for me, I can't. What people can say it's an insult to the Vikings who are at number 2 and punishment, blah blah blah. But here's the deal: the Vikings play the Lions this week. They're going to have the opportunity to get right back up to number 2, possibly number 1, depending what Kansas. Just kidding. You're going to keep the Chiefs at number 1. I'm not
going to lie to you, Jim. I'm not going to lie to you. I really considered 1 and 2 also too.
Liar.
No, I'm dead ass serious.
You didn't.
I'm dead ass serious. I'm dead ass serious, dude. I am dead ass.
Okay. You're dead serious, and I'm also 135 pounds.
I know.
Allegedly.
You're getting there, Mike. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you.
Food, Jesus.
No, but seriously,
Mike.
But seriously, no. It did cross my mind. No, I wasn't going to do it in the end, but it did.
Obviously,
shocking.
It did cross my mind a couple times. Detroit put him number 1.
Okay, but hold on. My question here: the Detroit Lions at 2.
Mm-hmm.
They lost the best defensive player in the NFC right now, not named Fred Warner.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And you don't you still move them up. What is the defense of the Detroit Lions going to be without the best pass rusher that they've had in quite some time?
We'll have to find out this week, aren't we?
Well, okay, but then why are you moving them up over a team that did not play and has not lost a football game?
I was hoping you were going to flash that, Jim.
Yes, Jason, I know.
This is your 135 wet, Mike.
If I may, take a swing to help EJ out just a little bit, because I think he's cornered himself unintentionally.
Go ahead.
I think the correct answer is to keep the Vikings at 2 and the Lions at 3 and let the Lions have the right to fight for 2. He wanted to reward a team that played, so he was kind of cornered. So I get the part where he's kind of conflicted on that, and you could really take it both ways.
He has another level of confliction.
Okay.
The Detroit Lions beat his favorite football team by 42 points.
I'm sorry, you got to narrow it down. There's many favorite teams.
He beat his favorite team in the lower quadrant of the Midwest.
He beat his favorite team called Dallas that plays in Arlington.
Oh, he's a Cowboys fan.
That one.
Kidding. Right.
Catching up with some more of the comments. We'll get Mike and my rankings on the screen as well here in a minute. Jason says he is a Niners fan, but holy shit, rank 7, you're nuts.
Listen, the Niners are playing the long game, brother.
Yeah, obviously.
We're playing the long game with 7 of the 10 teams on this power ranking. Let's be real.
And that's called a prediction, not a power ranking. Jason says top 4 is fine, but 6 to 10 are awful. All right, I'll get Mike and mine on the screen.
There we
Again,
go.
I'm not gonna go over them individually, but you can see the comparison there. Just for comparison, looking at the top 4,
the Bills at 6.
That's weight. I mean, okay. Both of you guys too, also.
Buddy, you're the one who's got the Packers at 6. Stop.
Okay.
No. I'm not even mad necessarily as much at the Packers at 6 as I am the Niners in the top 10. That's the biggest problem in DJs.
Okay. Mike, sell me the Eagles at 7.
They were 8 last week. They were victorious in a game where they finally got the offensive pieces back. The offense finally looks like it's clicking. I think that there are concerns there, but I also think that I would take them right now to beat Atlanta. I think I'd take them to beat Tampa, and I think I would take them to beat the Commanders.
But you acknowledge those will be close-ass games.
Correct. I think my 6 through 11, because I did have the Packers at 11, my 6 through 11, you could throw the 5 teams in a hat, and you could pull them in any order, and I think I would be okay with whatever 7 through 11 would be. Okay. Because, I mean, I had the Commanders last week at 6. I penalized them for losing. I put them down at 10. I moved the teams that were behind them up a spot. I kept Green Bay out because at the end of the day, yes, they beat the Arizona Cardinals, and they played well, and they're starting to click. But I need to see them do it against a little bit more competitive of a defense before I'm ready to vault them back into the top 10.
And Jim and Mike, you both acknowledged while we were analyzing EJ's thing, but for those who can't see the screen, you both have the Bills at 6. I know most of this is stuff that's locked in. By the way, congratulations for another week being a homer, putting the Lions at 1, Jim. I kind of respect it.
Well, actually, this is the first time I've had him there.
Oh, who was the one that had Lions?
Sean had him up there.
2 weeks ago.
I've had the Vikings up there for a couple weeks.
The evil twin fooled me. I'm so sorry, Jim. But let me take it back to my question. I know we hand these in ahead of time, but does Amari Cooper to the Bills alter in your head 6 for the Bills? And Jim, would that sneak the Bills into your top 10, that addition?
Well, for me, I still have the Bills at 6 from last week. I think I'll still hold them at 6 because I do think Houston is the better team right now. I feel much more confident with them at 6. I think the only reason I held them at 6 is the Bucs had been down from the loss the week prior. They recovered. Falcons stayed at 8. Packers got in because the Broncos broncoed. Actually, no, the Broncos didn't bronco. The Broncos got hardballed. So that's a whole different story.
I'm glad you clarified because that's
and really the only other change in my top 10 is the Lions went from 3 to 1 with the convincing victory. The Chiefs and Vikings, who were both off, they dropped down to 2 or 3. Otherwise, my top 10 didn't move. But yeah, I feel much more confident actually with the Bills at 6 with the addition of Amari Cooper because I think that does kind of solidify things for them offensively.
Yeah, I think I'm there with Jim. I have them at 6. I don't think that puts them ahead of Baltimore or Houston for me, but I definitely think it makes those games more competitive than where they would have been if they played today or yesterday, whenever they didn't have Amari Cooper. And I think I give the Bills the edge over the 7 through 11 in that regard also, with that addition. The additions, like, I think there are other pieces that are going to move that are going to adjust this power ranking over the next couple weeks. Let's see what life without Aiden Hutchinson looks like, because there's a couple defensive ends that the Detroit Lions may go try to get that could alter.
Oh, sure.
Some things. I've heard the Max Crosby rumor. I've heard the Hassan Reddick rumor.
Yeah, all those are fascinating. I'm not even going to try to speculate on that. And even if they get him this week, I don't know that he would be in a position to make an immediate impact to be ingrained into the roster. I don't think that's fair either.
No.
Which is why I'm not surprised either to hear your answers for Amari Cooper. EJ Christian, you've dodged the question. I asked you if that alters the Bills in your mind.
Sorry, say one more time. Last part. I'm sorry. That was Dylan.
Amari Cooper. Does that help you consider the Bills a top 10 team?
Absolutely, because I almost put him at number 10.
So who do they bump?
And I turned on my list before the trade actually happened.
Okay, yeah, we're looking at it. So you changed your top 10 after the trade?
No. I turned the list before the trade happened.
Yeah, the list was in before the trade happened. And Jason, I will get to your question in the comments there as well.
Yes, and you want to talk about me with hate?
I'm not mad at the Bills being in the top 10. I think they're a little too high though. But
so okay, hold on. Can I address something there? You had the Bills at 7 last week.
I did.
You did.
They won a football game and you dropped them out.
I mean, he was really impressed by a 3-point
win. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, you're right.
Okay.
Sure.
So can we touch on that for a second, please?
Maybe he misspelled
ugly win. I wasn't that impressed with the win last night, honestly. And I just think the teams. I just think the teams right now, those 4 teams right now, they play right now. They lose to those teams right now. If they play the Commanders right now today, they lose Commanders. They play the Buccaneers, they lose the Buccaneers. Falcons, Niners, same thing.
So why'd you have them at 7 last week?
Because I saw more this week. I saw more, and with more information gathered this week.
So you saw them lose by 25 to the Ravens.
You watch them get boat raced.
That was 3 weeks ago. That game was 3 weeks ago.
Okay, but so you saw them lose by 25 to the Ravens.
Right.
Only by 3 to the Texans, both teams in your top 10, you decided they were still the 7th best team. And then you saw them win a division game, which you are probably the biggest beat the drum guy for division games. Division games are really weird.
Road
can happen. And they
game.
They went in to New York on Monday night and won a division game.
Yeah. I'd like to bring up that the Texans game is also very nuanced. The fact that the Texans only won by 3 when Josh Allen was obviously concussed and went 9 for 30, I think makes that a very interesting conversation.
Right. And maybe a healthy Josh Allen, they win that game, right?
Or at least one where they don't go 9 for 30, right?
Right.
Correct.
So you lose a game when your guy had a quote bad ankle.
Yeah.
And
I love it.
And they get punished for a division win by 4 spots. That's the part that is kind of wild to me.
In other news, EJ Christian's been picked to join the college football football playoff committee. That's right.
I will say the one big course correction I think I made this week was the Falcons too. Remember, I got bitched up not having them in the top 10 at all last week, and
tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen.
Yeah.
We all have them at 8 this week.
You're
the course correction.
I
guess the big difference here between our list is the Niners pretty much here and the Bills. That's it.
Yeah, I don't get the Niners. I don't get the Niners in the ranking at all, much less moving up.
Yeah.
But one last question.
I haven't been able to fix you on them for the last 4 years, so why do I try?
Okay. He is a Niners fan, Jim.
That is true.
Anyways,
allegedly.
Mike, one last thing, and I'm asking you this question because I think I'll get a good answer.
Yes.
What did the Packers have to do?
I just need to see more from the offensive side of the football. I mean, I just need to see it be cleaner. I need to see that Jordan Love is going to be able to work the football into things and keep doing the things that they did on offense. And then I think they need to do it against a team that probably has a little bit better of a defense. No disrespect to the Arizona Cardinals. But that defense isn't really that great. And the fact of the matter is I'm also the guy that I'm going to take the injury more into account than Ernest will, because Jordan Love is still playing through an injury. Just because he's healthy enough to play does not mean that he could not re-injure himself.
Okay.
So the offense has looked good, but I'm also feeling they have a really good running back there who ran really well for Las Vegas for a lot of years in Josh Jacobs. And I don't feel like they're using him the way that they should be right now that would help them continue to be successful. They're making Jordan Love throw the ball more coming off of an injury. I'm not down on them as bad as I was a couple weeks ago. Yeah. I am not on the Ernest Christian. I'm not on the Ernest Christian NFC title game bandwagon. I'm in the system where it's starting to come together. I need to see it for another week or two before I'm willing to say that they're better than Tampa, Atlanta, Philly, and Buffalo.
Mike, say this week will go a long way figuring that situation for the Packers.
Well, that's kind of where I was. Is what I hear you saying is, you don't love what Jordan is doing right now. But beating the Texans, is it fair to say if they beat the Texans, they make the top 10 for you?
I will tell you, if they beat the Houston Texans, I don't think I could have them lower than 8.
Shit. Okay.
There you go.
Ooh. I mean, at that point, it would take something monumental like all the other 10 teams to win, which would mean I would have to probably drop Houston completely out of my rankings to get them in. But I'm saying it would have to be something crazy like that, which is impossible because the Vikings and the Lions play each other. The Chiefs play a top 12 team. Baltimore has a tough matchup this week as well. Like, there's going to be an opportunity for movement and fluid movement in mine. I think if they beat Houston, though, I think there's a world where I can't have them lower than 8.
Yeah, you gave me and I won't comment on the running back usage. I've not watched enough Packers film to tell you if there's other reasons why Matt LaFleur would do that. And listen, with what LaFleur's done since Aaron Charlie Rodgers has left, I think we've seen that Matt LaFleur wasn't the fucking problem.
Clearly.
You don't say.
The correct answer, gentlemen, is duh. But for that very reason, I'm more inclined to trust Matt LaFleur.
Oh shit.
Nice. I'm more inclined to trust Matt LaFleur if he's not using Josh Jacobs. There's a reason we aren't picking out.
All right, I do want to get to Jason's question here. He says, Jim, what happens when the Niners beat the Cowboys? Does Jerry keep your coach till the end of the year?
Hate and die hard, huh?
I mean, quite frankly, honestly, at this point, what does firing Mike McCarthy do?
Is his contract up anyway?
It gets you a return.
Yeah, this is his last year.
It gets you a return on investment for that space program you built 2 years ago when you said you wanted to launch him into the sun, Jim.
Oh God, I can only wish. Can I substitute him for Jerry Jones?
Take out Mike McCarthy to another coach. It's a fucking matter.
Right. So okay, because here's the real problem though, and it was gonna kind of maybe be one if I didn't end up going with it, but like there's no fixing this right now.
Nope.
Like that's the reality of the Dallas Cowboys. So, okay, cool. You fire you fire Mike McCarthy. Who becomes your head coach? Is it Mike Zimmer? Because his work on the defense has been really good.
Former
Seat,
Bengal great.
Are you saying that Mike's seat is Zimmering?
Or do you go with Brian Schottenheimer, who either doesn't know to keep Rico Dowdle as your starting running back, or he's too much of a puppet to not have Zeke be the starter this week, even though Dowdle ran for $120 the week prior?
Do you miss Kellen Moore, Jim?
Like, so I don't know what firing Mike McCarthy in midway through his final season does. You're not replacing, as much as I love the man, an aged Zach Martin who's getting cooked on the offensive line. Your center's getting cooked every week. Your defense. I mean, how many tackles did players just give up on? Just completely give up on this week.
Well, and they have more injuries on that side of the ball, Jim, than Sean Lee does in his career.
You know, Parsons out, Lawrence out. You're
still in Christ. I don't know.
Brandon Cooks out. CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott, who are now contractually obligated to one another for at least the next 4 years,
and
fucking hate each other.
Yeah.
Like literally, and then again, you have your moron owner, general manager, going on sports radio, having a Donnie level meltdown, threatening to have these guys jobs, saying that he pays them when he doesn't. They're not Jerry Jones employees at 105, whatever the fan in Dallas. Like and then watching the Jets trade nothing for Devontae Adams. The Browns trade Amari Cooper 2 years after the Cowboys got rid of him to Cleveland, and the Browns got more of a return than the Cowboys did. Like, literally, I thought that Sunday, the worst loss in Cowboys history for the last 30 years in this century, was the worst that this franchise could hit this year.
On his birthday too.
And then Jerry Jones 2 days later goes, hold my beer. Sure, fire McCarthy. That's fine. Nothing is going to fix the Cowboys right now.
They need to fire the GM.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I mean, it is like I know we have had a joking relationship with me and this team over the history of this show.
I thought it was with EJ, but okay.
Well, obviously,
Yeah.
But literally, I have never felt as negative about the state of this team and this franchise in my life. And because the problem is that there's, like I said, there's no light at the end of the tunnel there for it. Like it is just, it's going to keep getting darker. And that's the sad reality for me. So cool. Niners win next week. Fire McCarthy. Who cares? Honestly,
I mean,
who cares?
Unbiased on the Dallas front. Moving on from Mike McCarthy, I think does one thing for the Dallas organization. It puts them as the front runners to get out to whomever is going to be the hot coach before other teams make decisions on Black Monday.
All things being equal, that's a point, Byrne. However, I think Jerry Jones has started to show his ass a little too much, and the better coaches have started to get more power at the negotiating table, and Jerry Jones is a fucking liability. So how much of an edge does he really get? The only reason why I think they have more of an edge over than the Jets, the only other team that's beat them to the punch by scapegoating Robert Saleh and what was the most obvious hit job of all time since Tony fucking Soprano, okay, is ironically in the same state, right? Which, by the way, y'all motherfuckers noticed they tried to hide behind the Saleh firing news to, oh, by the way, we removed Nathaniel Hackett from.
Yeah, exactly.
Sons of bitches.
Would you take Robert Saleh?
Hold on, let me hit the link. Yes, I would. Let me hit the
I
landing.
would, yeah.
Robert Saleh and Byrne, I'm happy to break that down with you on a podcast sometime too. God knows you'll be on the Student of the Game in a few weeks for the midseason awards. Am I right? So the punchline being, like, you say they're the front runners for that. I can see a world where they're the front runners ahead of a moron like Woody Johnson if Aaron is still in the building. But look at what the Jets have asset-wise.
Yeah.
Should Rodgers leave with a high draft pick to get, I don't know, Quentin Ewers, let's say. I don't think he's an NFL quarterback, separate conversation. But at the end of the day, I live in a world where now I might be able to pay Devontae Adams and have Garrett Wilson. That's a hell of a 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
The fuck Cowboys got for assets?
Nothing.
So you got an asshole owner who's in my way, who's handcuffed me to shit deals. This is not a good job. And the prestige will force you to get more shit shoved in your face than any other NFL franchise out there. So again, I hear the timing thing's correct, Byrne, but the other stuff works against that. Go ahead, Jim.
Well, and the biggest issue, as it's been for decades, because I've already seen people saying after this week, the next Cowboys head coach, Ben Johnson. But like the problem with anybody coming to Dallas is you don't actually have control.
Bingo.
Jerry controls the show.
Which is why Belichick won't happen.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely not. And like, I know after last season, like when it was obvious that Jim Harbaugh was not returning to Michigan, I was jokingly praying to the football gods, please, for the love of God, get this man down to Arlington. But he's already dealt with a shitty owner before. Jim Harbaugh ain't going to Dallas either. So like, that's, you know what I mean? Like that's the problem there. Jason has a final question. He does say, do you agree with Russell starting over Fields? Is this a possible trade moving in the near future?
I'm a big Russell guy, but I disagree with it.
I think I just don't necessarily understand.
I could give it a shot.
Go ahead.
So Justin Fields, with his style of play, could only get you so far. What he's shown the Steelers coaching staff is he can't throw the football at a certain time. They're expecting that maybe, just maybe, Russell Carrington Wilson, who has been serviceable, not great, serviceable, in Denver, is still enough of an upgrade to give a slightly balanced approach in attack. Let Najee Harris actually run the fucking football and get the air attack more involved. Now, I also see a scenario where if Rusty struggles even one iota, Fields is back in the game.
Absolutely.
I think they're going to pull one out of, and I get this is not a marquee program doing this, but they're going to pull one right out of the Florida Gators, who were, I should say, before he got hurt, switching between Graham Mertz and DJ Lashway, right? Or Lagway, sorry. It's going to be that kind of thing where they're going to use the dual quarterbacks and do what best satisfies the requirement for their game plan that week. That's what I see.
Yeah, that makes sense. And here's the thing: you do have two more winnable games over the next 2 weeks, Jets and Giants, before you then have Washington, Baltimore. So if you're going to make the switch,
well, you have Jets Giants bye week. Why wouldn't you just wait for the bye week?
Well, I think you want to have Wilson get some reps before playing Washington. Actual game. If you're going to try the switch here, this is the time to do it, because you're playing a Jets team that is still tail spinning a bit, and a
plain
Giants...
joke.
I
said, "Ooh, a plain joke."
Yeah, I didn't even try it actually.
I wasn't ready.
But yeah, I think that's why you want to get him. You want to get him some live reps before playing the Commanders.
And moreover, with Rusty too, I think there's an element of exhibitioning him a bit, so he has a chance to look good.
What was his injury again?
It was a calf, I believe.
Yeah, allegedly.
Right. That's what was on the injury report. And here's the thing too: if he can't look good if he doesn't look good or ready or whatever in these 2 games, to Kyle's point, you go right back to Fields. That's your guy. You know, I guess you can try shopping Wilson. I don't know who's going to bite at that point, but then you know who your starter is coming out of the bye when you have those 2 tough games.
The real learned thing here, Bern, is how much of a lack of respect the Steelers seem to have for those Jets.
That's true.
It just, because my question here is I think the Jets defense will get pressure on Rusty, and if he's coming back from a lower body injury, like Justin Fields being fast enough to get away from people feels like it would be the smarter play.
But how long have they been putting off Rusty too? They specifically came out saying they're waiting for him to be 100%. So they're getting that. And perhaps the argument is also made that, and Tomlin's kind of done this. You bring out a guy, test him against tougher guys to see what he can do. And that's the mistake he made with Mitchell Trubisky, right? Before allowing Pickett to come through. He was testing
Trubisky or whatever the hell his name is.
I'm shocked you still have that shit. So God knows he's not in the league anymore. Anyway, or is he? Anyways,
he's a backup somewhere, I think.
I won't rule it out. Is he? No, he's in Buffalo, isn't he?
Yep.
Yeah, he's back in Buffalo.
That's right.
That's right, because he came in when Josh Allen hurt his ankle.
Wow.
For one play.
About the 9-30, yes.
All right, let's we've already gone very long. Let's go to the looking ahead to this upcoming weekend.
You better lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
All right, Mikey B, what's one thing that's going to happen this weekend?
Well, I could sit here and I could say that it would be the boat racing that I picked in the pick'ems, but I feel like I've already declared that. The Texas boat racing.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say, and you can sit here and you can besmirch this if you'd like, student of the game, Kyle Nash.
What the fuck did I do?
Just wait. The UCF Golden Knights and the Iowa State Dream.
You're out of your fucking gourd, kid. Wow. Okay.
Bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
I want the record to show that with my work at the Black and Gold Banneret, especially the Night Shift Live podcast, the instant reaction I've been doing, I would love nothing more. Did you watch that Cincinnati game?
Don't do math.
Yeah, you smoke crack, don't you? So,
don't smoke crack.
I'm not just besmirching you because I don't like you, Bern. I'm trying to protect you from you and give yourself a chance to escape. Sorry.
EJ. Okay, let me hit the
lock it up.
EJ, what is going to happen this weekend?
Well, my lock of the week is going to be basically that after this week, we'll have no more undefeated teams in the NFL.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so it's just
he's go down.
He's doubling down on the Niners is what he's doing.
Got it.
Lock it up.
Student of the game. What's going to happen this weekend?
After all the visions of Travis Hunter being a sure draft pick coming to Jacksonville to augment the defense and the offense simultaneously, the Jacksonville Jaguars will beat the Patriots and fuck up the entire rotation in Jacksonville fashion.
You blew it!
Lock it up.
And mine, now EJ, pay attention so you don't have to send me incorrect texts over the weekend. One ranked team between 5 and 10 will lose to a unranked opponent. Okay.
Let's go UCF, baby.
So that means it would either be Miami, LSU, Iowa State, or Clemson.
Let's go Louisville, baby.
Those 4 teams play unranked teams this week.
Like Iowa State beat Iowa. They're ready for running teams. They're ready for UCF. Burn, save yourself, you silly man.
Jason, don't start with me.
Oh,
I like that.
Here's hate in my heart.
Okay. I will say this. There is a world that I want to live in where Army and Navy play each other in the conference title game. They have to play each other the next week in the Army-Navy game.
So you are not unique.
I know I'm not, but I want to live in that world.
And I hope we live in that world too. The beauty is Notre Dame beating both Army and Navy. They're not in the conference with them, so that can still stay alive.
Were you just campaigning for Notre Dame to join the American? Fuck, even I'm not doing that.
No, absolutely not. We will remain conference free as we've always will be, minus the COVID year. All right, let's get the hell out of here.
Holy shit, 2.5 hours. My God.
Yeah, I'll take a bit of the hit on that one. That was a little bit of my fault. But Mikey B, where can they follow you?
I don't blame you. I blame Ernest Christian. You can send him all the hate tweets at EJChristian7. You can follow me at They Call Me Burn. You can listen to me talk wrestling on the Take 3 Wrestling podcast. You can listen to me talk about South Florida baseball, sunny days and double plays. Five for Fighting's coming back. The Mountain's coming back. I just want this fucking Yankee Indian game to end.
Let's make sure the Mount and 5 for Fighting is never a crossover because that's just dirty.
EJ, where can they follow you?
Ernest Podcast, all podcast catchers on YouTube, youtube.com/Ernest Christian, EJ Christian7 on Twitter, and that's all I got for you.
Send your hate tweets.
Into the game.
What? Hey, the one person who gets told there's hate in his heart, and then this other fucking shit happens. What the fuck just happened?
What the fuck just happened?
Of course.
What the fuck happened?
Thank you, sir. Of course, I'm Kyle Nass, the Student of the Game. Find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Threads at TheSOTG. Find me on Facebook as the Student of the Game. Check out my writings with the Fans First Sports Network covering the Jacksonville Jaguars, where you will also find the Duval Dive live. Check out the podcast there. If you have not checked out the live reaction, I will tell you, Travis and I do a little bit of scuba diving and some things we observed in that game. We go deep. I know that's what she said. Whatever. By the way, the Mount with Burn. So, anyways, then also my work covering UCF, the Black and Gold Banneret, the Night Shift Live podcast, where I will be elated as UCF upsets. I can't even fucking get through it. I'm sorry, Burn. I tried really hard, and it's just a cyclone of emotion.
Please refresh the page
Report said no. I tried.
What was the one you were attempting? Maybe I can voice
You
act.
blew it.
You blew it. There you go.
Good one.
So, fuck. I'm just sad now, Jim. God damn it. So, of course, check out my article wrapping up every game on the Black and Gold Banneret night class, and also Thursday, Basketball Media Day, men's and women's hoops. We will be on the scene, the Black and Gold Banneret, interviewing your players, your coaches, and all that happy stuff that you'll find on the Black and Gold Banner YouTube channel. By the way, 9:00 Eastern, Wednesday, Student of the Game podcast. I will have the great Mark Moses of Sports Radio 1560, The Fan in Melbourne, to talk about his Bears and just what the fuck happened and how they're actually coming back to life. It's an amazing. So, yeah, you thought they were on a bye. You thought you were safe, Jim, but nonetheless, here we go. So make sure you look out for all of that and honor, joy, and privilege. Jim, I apologize for the hate in my heart, but what really embarrasses me is you and I having that argument and promoting EJ's garbage-ass podcast, Earnestly Speaking.
That is fair. That is fair. I will try not to promote that garbage ever again. You can find me at Big Jim Sports, but make sure you are following along with the show. We are on all podcast platforms. You can get us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. We're at Huddle Up Podcast there. We're on Instagram at Huddle Up Podcast Inc. and on Twitch at Huddle Up Inc. Again, you can get our merchandise over at tpublic.com. Subscribe to the show on all podcast platforms. Rate and review where you can. We would certainly appreciate that. Tell your friends if you want to see angry, dorky sports guys yell at each other each and every week. This is the place for you. Until next week, stay safe, stay smart, and as always, go for the win.